Rain is absolutely pouring down as a hand slams against the wet concrete. And check it out, we've got Destined van Grahan U. Klein. Yeah, that name is a whole mood. He's slumped on the ground, with a female character literally holding a sword straight through his heart. Dude manages a soft sigh like, yeah, this is fine. His killer is standing there, frozen, deadly serious. Not even a hint of remorse on her face. She grips that sword tight, driving it even deeper into his chest. They just stay like that, locked in this intense moment, the rain making it all super dramatic. Destined starts coughing up blood, and yeah, his mortality is suddenly pretty obvious. Quick spoiler, getting stabbed, not great for your health. He looks at his bloody palm, and reality hits him hard. His life is definitely ebbing away. No respawning from this one, folks. Despite the whole dying thing, he still calls her beautiful. He reaches for her face, but she pulls away without an ounce of emotion. Ouch. Rejection hurts almost as much as the sword, probably. In his head, he can't help but curse her out. Some relationships really do end with a bang or a stab, I guess. Finally, he takes his last breath. Then, bam, a window pops up. The mission to eliminate him, stage clear. Mission accomplished. Villain, terminated. Okay, so who's behind this? Kim Woojin, a game developer. He finally squashed those bugs. Man, those issues were giving him major headaches. Woojin had been pulling countless sleepless nights fixing the nullification of engagement route. But finally, it's complete. Time to actually breathe again. Maybe even remember what sunlight looks like? Quick background check. REW is this game development studio that blew up onto the scene with hit games, legit transforming South Korea into a console game powerhouse. And the stakes for this project couldn't be higher. REW dumped everything into this game. Success means sweet financial security. Failure means the whole studio could just close shop. So yeah, just another totally chill Tuesday in game dev land. This game is kinda revolutionary. The difficulty and story adapt to player choices, like for real. Even though it's single player, the super advanced AI characters were creating some serious buzz all over the gaming world. Players could pick from a ton of classes: knights, mages, explorers, demons, demon hunters, and way more. This massive list of roles gave players total freedom to become whoever they wanted in the game. Unlike real life, where most of us are stuck as basic NPCs. With the fate of the studio on the line for this release, Woojin decides to review his character one more time. Pretty sure this is the 15th time today. And this specific character is exactly why he's been working overtime for months. Meet Destined van Grahan U. Klein. He's the main dude for episode 1, but also like a mid-game boss. With a name that pretentious, maybe he did deserve it. So many errors needed fixing because of all the potential story routes involving this guy. But finally, Woojin managed to kill him off without any glitches. In the current storyline, he gets stabbed by his fiancée. Pretty brutal way to go, gotta say. But hey, it makes sense considering all the shady schemes this character has pulled off. Woojin stretches at his desk. Suddenly, someone calls him from behind, just when he thought he could catch like 5 minutes of peace. It's his team leader, Ara, asking about his progress. Oh, and plot twist? She's also his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, they were inseparable once, a 7-year relationship full of ups and downs. Mostly downs towards the end. Let's be real. Woojin was kinda lazy while she was like totally devoted to work. A match made in corporate hell, basically. She was always pushing Woojin to improve himself. Great for character development, maybe not so great for, staying together. They eventually broke up. Shocking absolutely no one, honestly. Woojin just couldn't change, despite her best efforts. Or maybe he just wasn't trying to become a workaholic machine. Who knows? Ara keeps things strictly professional, talking about the bug fixes. Woojin, still salty about how quickly she found someone new, just kinda blurts out, "Guess things are going well with your new man." Rumors spread so fast in this company, Ara sighs. But yes, I think it's going well. Translation: yeah, he's definitely better than you were, bye. Woojin tries another jab, well, hope you guys get married then. But Ara just tells him to stop being petty and focus on the bugs. She also mentions more story changes coming. Woojin's like, seriously? Again? Then out of nowhere he asks Ara, are you sure he's just an intermediate level boss? He seems way too easy to kill. But Ara explains that's Destined's whole thing. He gets stronger based on player choices, like a cockroach that refuses to die basically. And then she drops a bomb. Destined's character model? It's based on Woojin. Nothing says I'm over you like turning your ex into the guy everyone has to kill. Did you seriously not notice that you guys look alike? Ara chuckles. She even jokes that this is why she always wipes Destined immediately when she meets him in the game. Their personalities share some similarities too, she adds. Oof. Switching back to dev talk, Woojin says it's wild that the studio's fate depends on this one game. But Ara assures him that the gameplay trailer got some seriously positive feedback. Woojin then pointedly mentions that Ara's new boyfriend is waiting outside. Your boyfriend's waiting. Go to him, Woojin says. barely hiding the salt. Era just responds with this super confident smile. Yeah, I will. Good luck, Woojin, she waves on her way out. Yeah, that good luck sounds suspiciously like later loser. He watches her go and just says goodbye back. A little while later, and Woojin is still at his desk. He's still testing Dekulin, the character modeled after himself. He's messing around with the character's skills and attributes. Right now, Dekulin's got 6 of them. According to his backstory, Dekulin was super spoiled as a kid, even though he was just a totally average mage. Mediocrity plus entitlement? What a combo. Yeah, this upbringing definitely resulted in his absolutely terrible personality. Everyone around him totally despised him. Can't imagine why, honestly. Woojin thinks about it. If this guy is supposed to be him, maybe he could add some positive attributes just to balance things out a bit. Comprehension seems like a solid pick. Adds some emotional depth this guy is seriously lacking. Maybe understanding others would make him less of a jerk, you know? But why stop there? He just starts giving Dekulin every advantage he can think of. Wealth, the Midas touch, keen eyesight, heck, even Iron Man level tech. Okay, maybe not Iron Man, but you get it. The character now has everything, except, you know, actual likability. Eventually, Woojin starts feeling a little guilty for adding way too much good stuff. No biggie, he'll just revert to the original settings. But just before he hits reset, an email lands with a notification sound. Ah, the universe's perfect timing strikes again. It's from the story writer. Woojin figures it's about the changes, but the message is weird. It says they were waiting to take a look? Woojin is totally confused. Then another message pops up telling him to check outside the window. He leans over, wondering what the heck is going on. The sky looks bizarre, swirling with thunder and this strange light. Yeah, definitely not your typical Seoul forecast. It looks like an actual hole has ripped open in the heavens. Mother Nature getting creative with the special effects. Flashes and booms light up this chaotic scene, and the next thing he sees is this messed up montage of warped skulls. What in the world could be causing this madness? A feeling of pure dread just washes over everything. Without any warning, Woojin finds himself on his knees. He's totally confused. A voice is droning on, warning about the serious dangers of Dekulin. Who is this? This voice continues. Despite how weak he looks in this moment, Dekulin apparently has this immense power that could just emerge at any moment. Like a toddler with nuclear codes, basically. He's just been hiding his abilities, but deep down there's a total villain lurking. Classic it's always the quiet one's situation. Then, everything fades to darkness. The next thing he knows, someone is shouting for Dekulin to wake up. He wakes up suddenly, and the world around him feels completely unfamiliar. A woman is screaming right in his face. How long are you going to sleep? Do you even call yourself a person? He lets out a heavy sigh. Woojin has been trapped in this weird body for several days now, still trying to figure out what's real and what's not. The woman is just laying into him for staying in bed because of some woman. Says he's bringing shame to the whole household. Finally losing all patience, she throws papers onto the floor and storms out. What a welcome. Life took an unexpected turn that day when the sky went all weird and he somehow ended up in this body. Yeah, he found himself transported into the world of the game. And he ended up inhabiting the body of the absolute worst character possible. The character who is literally destined to die no matter which path he takes. He now lives inside the body of a man who's basically walking towards his own doom. The villain, Dekulin. From game developer to totally doomed isekai protagonist, what a workplace transfer. At first, Woojin thought he was just having some wild dream. But nah, my dude, this is straight up real. Fast forward a few days and he's finally processing like, alright, this is legitimately happening. And here's the kicker. He's wondering if that lightning bolt yeeted him to the afterlife. Or maybe not, doesn't even matter. Cause one thing is crystal clear. He somehow isekai'd himself into Dekulin von Grahan, the main villain of the game he was literally developing. This guy's like the ultimate mid-boss, guaranteed to get killed no matter which path you take in the game. He's basically the source code of all the problems, messing things up for pretty much every character. Seriously, out of every single character, why did he spawn as the absolute worst bad guy? Talk about a brutal plot twist. Get this. When they were testing the game, they ran simulations 1,000 times. Dekulin, he survived exactly one time. Bro is literally hard-coded to be a punching bag. Oh, and he has zero clue where he even is in the game's timeline. He's zoning out, deep in thought, when he spots some papers scattered on the floor. Yeah, the ones his half-sister Yahello threw at him earlier. She's the one actually running the family empire while Dekulin's off being a walking red flag. They're not exactly besties, just so you know. And that woman Yahello was ranting about? Probably Julia, the dude's fiancée. Yahello even dropped a not-so-subtle hint earlier, basically saying, if you want to keep that sweet professor gig, you better get your butt in gear. Professor? Wait, is he actually supposed to teach a class today? He's never done this professor thing ever, but hey, he figures he needs all the intel he can get to survive this game. Ding! A status window pops up, just like in an RPG. It says his main objective is to become a necessary character. There's also a side quest, deliver a university lecture, plus some weird store currency mentioned. Okay, that window combined with Uriel's earlier wake-up call finally gets him motivated to actually get out of bed. That currency sounds like it could be super important, but, what is he even gonna lecture about? He knows nothing. Okay, here's where it gets spicy. All those OP skills he added while tinkering with the character, he's got them right now. Comprehension is one of them, which basically lets him understand anything instantly. That skill might just be the cheat code he needs to actually pull off this lecture without face planting. He walks into the bathroom and holy cow, it's like stepping into a straight-up palace. Maximum royalty vibes. Everything feels totally new but also weirdly normal, like he's been Deculin his entire life. And yo, check out his outfit. Absolute drip. Not his usual look, but it's sharp and fits him like a glove. That's gotta be Deculin's intimidation and dignity stats, and his aesthetic sense stat just automatically kicking in, Woojin thinks. If he had to describe the feeling, it's as if Deculin and himself are in the same body and he's trying to push Woojin's personality out. Stuff Woojin used to think was way too extra suddenly feels completely normal. He's walking around like he owns the joint, full noble energy engaged, ready to dominate. But then, he snaps out of it. Hold up, he's still Kim Woojin, a slightly tall and objectively handsome dude from South Korea. And sometimes a pathetic, lazy idiot, according to some people. Yeah, that's him. He's not letting this overpowered Deculin persona take over his brain. Gotta stay true to myself, he thinks, heading towards a car that is honestly way too fancy. Okay, gotta admit, being a noble has its benefits for real. He's never been in a ride this slick before. Quick random thought, he flashes back to his ex's new boyfriend. Yeah, that smug face still lives rent-free in his head sometimes. Then he notices someone else already in the car. This super nervous guy hands him a lecture script. Gotta be Deculin's poor assistant. Feeling kinda bold, Woojin's like, yo, are you like a wizard or something? The assistant is totally bewildered, like, I've been working here for 3 years. Deculin just smooths it over with a quick, just kidding, relax. Okay, this script is an absolute godsend. Not just notes, but a full-blown script to read word for word. Makes total sense for the original Deculin since he wasn't that talented to begin with. Bet the assistant pulled an all-nighter doing all the grunt work. He's trying to give the dude a compliment, but he starts feeling dizzy. He manages to say, good work. Wait, did he just give a compliment? The assistant totally freezes, like blue screen for a sec. Even the driver looks shook. But here's the weird part. Saying something nice actually makes him feel kinda sick. Was the original Deculin so terrible that a simple nice job feels fundamentally wrong? It feels like Deculin's messed up personality is trying to infect his brain just like it did back in his original world. They pull up to the university, and whoa, it's absolutely unreal, like straight out of a fantasy blockbuster movie. Alright, no time to gawk. Gotta find Roteo Hall. That's where the letter said to go. He steps into the lecture room and it's packed. Students are hyped, buzzing to hear Deculin drop some god-tier magic knowledge. The guy's got a massive reputation. He kicks off the lecture with zero hesitation, voice booming like he owns the place. Total alpha move. The crowd's totally feeling it. Some students are even looking at him like he's a total legend. But hold up. Not everyone is a fanboy. There's one student, fists clenched, definitely not here for the hype. This girl? Yeah, she's got a serious grudge. Turns out, Deculin is her dad's #1 nemesis. To her, he's just pure trouble. Okay, picture this. 3 years ago, Ephraim's dad, well, he decided to peace out on his own terms. He was this super smart scholar, totally buried in spell research. But some total scumbag ripped off his work and it just broke him. Like completely shattered. He couldn't handle it. And guess who the thief was? None other than Deculin von Grahan. Yeah, the guy they call the genius spell interpreter. Ephraim? She was powerless. Couldn't do a single thing. When her dad passed, everything went to hell. House, land, the whole 9 yards. Gone. She ended up an orphan with absolutely nowhere to go. That's when the fire ignited. Revenge against Deculin became her entire mission. Her whole life's quest. Fast forward a bit, and Ephraim pulls off a major flex. She gets into the Empire's Royal University. Pretty epic, right? Everyone's hyping up Deculin like he's some kind of god-tier mage. But Ephraim knows the truth. He's a total fraud, coasting entirely on her dad's brilliance. Seriously, how does this guy have the audacity to stand there all smug? That spot, that recognition, that should have been her dad's. She is steaming, maybe low-key wishing he'd just vanish into thin air. But she reels it in. Revenge needs a plan and she's not quite leveled up enough yet. Gotta grind first. Lecture time arrives. Deculin walks in, radiating confidence. Introduces himself as the head professor of the Magic Tower. He's a monarch rank mage, level 4, which means he can manipulate elements like it's breathing. Basically, pretty high tier. Everyone is absolutely glued to him as he smooth talks his way through magical elements and types. He explains that magic has 3 main attributes and 9 types. Okay, side note, he's literally reading off a script, but honestly, with his stats and presence, he somehow makes it look legit. Dekulin just has this vibe that makes everyone pay attention. Woojin, our boy pulling the strings here, knows it's thanks to the abilities he coded into this character. Maybe this version of Dekulin could even turn out to be a decent teacher? He starts talking about mana. Mages usually store it in their head. Makes sense since it's the easiest place to visualize spells. Knights, they keep it in their heart, pumping through their veins like a power-up. Then there's the inner core, which is like the universal storage slot, mixing internal and external mana. His big piece of advice? Work hard, yeah, but if you're not naturally gifted, you gotta pick a specialty and go all in. Internally, he's chuckling. You could say that applies to him too, right? Ironic much? Woojin takes a quick peek at Dekulin's stats. Mana count 3,375. That's pretty mid, nowhere near elite. Top-tier mages are hitting around 30,000 mana. Dekulin's got some serious grinding to do. Lecture's wrapping up, but Dekulin pauses, staring at the script. He hesitates on some random last line. It looked off. The old Dekulin would have totally skipped it. But nope, he goes for it. He asked the class if they had any questions. Awkward silence for a second. He's relieved no one raised a hand, but then boom, a student lobs a question his way. "Professor, last night they found some weird mystery spell in the dorms," she blurts out. Dekulin cuts her off instantly. "Are you even a mage from the university's magic tower?" he asks. She's totally caught off guard. And he's like, "Come on, you should know the drill by now. State your name and affiliation first." "I won't answer a question from a child who doesn't even know basic etiquette," he declares. She tries again, but he's already packing up, practically running out of the room. "Sorry kid, I'm just winging it here, so I gotta dip ASAP," he internally apologizes. Turns out his comprehension skill is a total mana drain. He used it while reading the script to his lecture and his mana is completely depleted, running on fumes. Lecture's officially over and the room is quiet except for some kids snickering at the poor girl. But she's not backing down. "Wait," she yells after him. "The magic tower is just calling it a rumor, but you could solve it easy." She fires off a spell, green energy swirling all dramatically, challenging him to break it down. "Please interpret this spell," she requests. With the spell right in front of him, his ability automatically activates and his mana plunges straight into the danger zone. Ephraim jumps in, saying the debutantes, aka the newbies, are studying it and they just need a little hint, but he cuts her off, dropping the answer. "It's barrier magic." "Huh?" Ephraim is totally blindsided. No hints needed. Turns out it was a bewitchment spell specifically designed to lock them in the dorms. Lecture is officially done now. Ding. Side quest complete, the notification pops up. Nice. Later, in the cafeteria, Ephraim is absolutely fuming. Her big brain plan was to expose Dekulin by hitting him with an unknown spell and showing he's got no skills. Yeah, that didn't exactly pan out. Instead, he flipped the script, called her out on her manners, and left her looking dumb. The absolute nerve of this guy. But she's thinking, maybe she's got him now? Bewitchment spells are tricky. Most need super specific parameters to work. There's no way he could just name the spell without knowing its parameters, right? So he must be faking it. She had copied that spell directly off the dorm doors last night. "Who's the clown now?" she mutters, shoveling food into her mouth. Then another girl rushes over. Thanks to Dekulin's tip, they actually cracked the spell. It really was a barrier. She thanks Ephraim for stepping up and facing the scary professor when nobody else would. Ephraim's internal monologue is like, "You gotta be kidding me, he got it right?" The girl bounces, saying they'll credit her on the report for her help. Ephraim just shrugs it off as dumb luck. She's secretly annoyed that she just accidentally boosted his reputation for absolutely nothing. Ugh. Sitting there, she glares at the course syllabus for Dekulin's class this semester. Time to switch gears. She's gotta study him and figure him out for the next round. "Watch yourself, Dekulin," she mutters, simmering. "I'm exposing you soon." Dekulin's just strolling through the university halls, looking totally confident. He just finished a side quest, believe it or not, just by giving a lecture. He's kinda thinking about how that class could have gone sideways, like majorly sideways. See, just one glance at a spell earlier triggered his comprehension skill and poof, all his mana was gone instantly. Dude didn't even figure out what the spell was. Even with double his mana, the principles would still be a mystery. But hey, he kept it under control, at least for now. Then, bam, a voice cuts in. "Long time no see." And whoa, a familiar face just pops up and catches him off guard. It's Julie von Deafrieden, silver hair, looking sharp, eyes cold and seriously piercing. Our guy Woojin totally remembers her from back when he was a developer. Seriously, that icy stare? Unforgettable. She's not just Dekulin's fiancée. Nope, she's a main character, destined to become the absolute greatest knight in the entire realm. "How have you been?" she asks, in a flat tone. He gives this super vague reply. I'm not sure. Let's just say I'm fine. Her icy eyes narrow, you can practically see the anger there. You're fine after breaking a promise from like a week ago? She shoots back, sharp as a knife. Deculin stays totally calm even though he has literally zero clue what promise she's talking about. He tries to just brush it off and leave. But Julie is not letting this slide. Are you running away again just like before? Her frustration is definitely building. Yeah, no escaping her this time, buddy. Deculin tries the old fever, blurred my memory excuse. Could you remind me about that promise, he asks. Then a flashback hits. A tense night. Julie's voice sounding super firm. Promise me. She was asking him to drop the act, admit his lies, and she'd totally stand by him even if everything went down in flames. Looks like I was wrong to trust you, she admits, taking a step back, looking disappointed. Deculin quickly excuses himself with a polite farewell. Julie's left there, wrestling with everything. Their engagement was a total power play, a calculated move. Deculin was a skilled mage, and she was an elite knight. Their families saw a golden opportunity for power and legacy in this pairing. Yeah, the Eucleans and Freydens totally sealed the deal. Julie accepts it because duty calls, you know? Even though she feels zero love for the guy. But it didn't take her long to see right through Deculin though. Turns out he faked his genius at spell analysis, and even somehow snagged a professor role. But then after 3 years of zero real achievements, his lie got totally exposed. The families tried to sweep it under the rug, obviously to avoid public embarrassment. But Julie couldn't stand the deception. Her knightly honor absolutely wouldn't bend for that. At their last meeting, Deculin actually surprised her by agreeing to her terms. Now she clenches her fist, realizing his plan is just to bury his secret forever. Okay, scene change. Now we're at the Magic Tower at Imperial University. This is like the top institution in the whole game. Its magic department is absolutely unmatched. It's comparable to Seoul University's med school, with the Magic Tower being like its hospital. Deculin takes a moment to soak it all in, genuinely impressed by the game world's design. Seriously, the campus looks just like a classic American college layout. Building this must have been insane. Mad respect to the developers, seriously. He wants to just enjoy the atmosphere, but dang, he's trapped as the villain. Tough break. Suddenly, a figure rushes right toward him. He tenses up, ready for anything. His elbow connects right with the student's face. Ouch. The kid stammers an apology. Oh man, I'm just heading to see my professor. Deculin thought it was an attack, but wait, it's that kid from earlier. Oh hey you, Zoro, right? Nope, it's Alan. Deculin actually apologizes for the mistake, while Alan's thinking, who the heck is Zoro? They finally reach Deculin's office. Turns out Alan was on his way to turn over some mage sponsorship papers. So get this, the Magic Tower works like a research hub where professors scout out and fund promising mages. One name on the list totally stands out, glowing gold. It's his wealthy magnate trait kicking in, spotting profitable prospects like a boss. His sharp eyesight trait adds some intuition too, confirming this one's definitely a winner. Other names glow too, but this one? Hers shines the brightest, like a spotlight. Ifrine Luna. Woojin knows her. She's another main character, and guess what? Deculin is the reason her father is gone, and she has zero sponsors. Why doesn't this girl have any sponsors? He asks Alan. Alan explains the awkward truth. Well, sir, they're all kind of afraid of you. She's definitely gifted, thriving even without formal training. But yeah, she holds a super deep grudge against Deculin. He starts thinking, if he follows the game's original path, that will just lead to his totally predictable doom. He knows the endings way too well. There's the classic sword to the chest, a wand to the head, poison in his drink, and yeah, even a bomb takes him out. TLDR, the method changes, but his death, that stays the same. To actually survive this mess, he needs a bold, crazy shift in strategy. Something the original Deculin would never even think about. So, he makes a decision. He decides to sign the paper. He hands the papers back to Alan and also asks him to grab some books for him. A little bit later, Alan heads out. Deculin's alone, weighing his options. The gears are turning. He seriously needs to make a ton of money to survive. Like an absolute fortune. Why? Because a lot of those death routes in the game can actually be fixed with cold, hard cash. Investing in a promising mage? Yeah, that's one way to start raking in the dough. But it won't fix everything though. Too many people out there want him dead like yesterday. Given half a chance, they'd absolutely end him. So what he really needs to do to actually survive this whole ordeal is find a way to escape this world, and to even think about doing that. He needs to become seriously, ridiculously strong. That plot armor ain't gonna save him forever, folks. His skills right now though? Yeah, they're pretty much mid-tier. Like seriously, if he keeps going like this, he's got zero chance against the stuff heading his way. He needs to seriously level up, and he needs to do it now, because the future is looking absolutely grim. His one saving grace? It's gotta be his crazy attributes. He can't actually control all 4 elements like he says he can, but he's got this insane natural talent for earth and fire, And that is what powers his totally unique Midas Touch attribute. Basically, it lets him bring out a target's hidden potential. He also has some skill in manipulating metal, allowing him to manipulate these chi-controlled levitating blades. Sounds cool, right? But let's be real, it's basically telekinesis with a super fancy name. Now, it's not common in this world, but since Destined was one of the game's designers, he knows all the cheat codes and hidden tricks. So, his main quest right now? Experimenting like mad with manipulation magic. His hand starts glowing as he tests it out. And then, boom, he unleashes this surge of power that just lights up the whole room. It's intense, like a total flood of raw energy just rushing through his veins. Suddenly, spells are just swarming his mind, clicking into place like pieces of a puzzle. But man, the effort completely wipes him out. His mana bar is basically flashing red, almost at 0. Alright, time to see just what kind of crazy skills he can pull off now. With just a flick of his wrist, he lifts a pen right off his desk. Boom! Basic telekinesis is locked in. No spell needed, just some mental gymnastics. Quite literally. Okay, so he's stronger now, but let's be real. It's not enough. He needs to power level like crazy or he is totally done for. Then he gets an idea. What if he etches magic circles all across his body to give it a massive magic boost? Is it risky? Heck yeah, it could totally wreck him. But he's banking on his Iron Man attribute to give him that extra durability. This is literally his only shot at surviving in this bonkers world. His mana is sitting pretty at 800, which should be plenty for this test run. He just cranks up the power, and man, the pain. It's searing through him as he pushes past his limits. It's absolutely brutal, like his insides are just splintering apart. But he just grits his teeth, refusing to flinch even an inch. No groans, no showing weakness. Remember, he's Destined, and he has to be elegant in everything he does. Finally, after what feels like forever, he stops. He's totally drained, mana bar flashing empty again, but check it out. A magic circle now marks his shoulder. At this pace though, covering his entire body is gonna take like 2 weeks. Alright, time skip. Fast forward a whole month later and it's the first day of lectures. So students show up, ready to learn, but guess what? Destined is a total no-show. Instead, he just leaves a note saying, "I want to test your skills. Go to this magic-rich area and show me what you can do." What? Naturally, the students are totally confused. Like, where did our professor even go? Ifrine though? She is absolutely livid. Like, who does this irresponsible professor think he is, leaving students hanging on day 1? And then, out of nowhere, someone just bumps right into her. She spins around, totally annoyed at the clumsiness. But when she sees who it is, she just freezes solid. It's none other than Sylvia von Josephine Illeid. What? Ifrine is completely stunned, old memories just crashing back into her mind. But Sylvia? She just keeps walking, cool as a cucumber, like it's absolutely nothing. Ifrine is totally thrown off. Did Sylvia seriously not recognize her? A little later, Ifrine finds a quiet spot to seriously hone her magic skills. She's still stuck on that crazy encounter though. She's positive, absolutely positive, it was Sylvia. A little background story here. House Alade was an influential family. They once straight up feared her and her father's potential, that they even sent soldiers to their manor just to threaten them. So why on earth would Sylvia not remember her? Something is seriously off here. Suddenly, Ifrine feels her magic just slipping away, like her mana is being actively siphoned off. What the heck? She scans the area and who does she see? Sylvia just casually weaving spells like it's no big deal, totally oblivious. Ifrine's suspicion just spikes through the roof. "Do you even realize you're draining everything I've gathered here?" she snaps, confronting Sylvia directly. But Sylvia doesn't even glance her way. Oh, that just fuels Ifrine's anger even more. Ifrine's eyes narrow. Nope, she is so not letting this slide. "Seriously, why are you acting like you don't even know me, Miss Sylvia?" she demands. Total silence from Sylvia. "Yeah, that's what I figured," Ifrine says, a smirk playing on her lips. "After straight up threatening me to give up magic, are you scared I'm here to totally outshine you or something?" "I don't know you," Sylvia replies, her tone totally flat and dismissive. "Ouch. But I do know your father," Sylvia adds, just twisting the knife. "That arrogant ex-noble," she says, her voice dripping with disdain. Yikes. "I heard he died," she just tosses out there. And dude, for Ifrine, that's like a match striking a powder keg right in her chest. A flash of bright green light just erupts. Ifrine is instantly in full-on fight mode, absolutely ready to make Sylvia regret saying those words. "You, what did you just say?" she yells, her fury completely boiling over. "Say that again." Ifrine challenges, stepping closer, practically daring Sylvia to repeat it. Ifrine is absolutely going off. She is basically daring Sylvia to run her mouth again, and you know she is not letting that slide. Boom! Magic ignites, green energy popping off like a neon rave, turning the spot into a wild light show straight out of some sci-fi flick. Sylvia throws up a barrier, but check her face. Pure panic, she is shook. Pow. An explosion hits like a literal truck, shaking the entire scene. Total chaos erupts. Bystanders are ducking and dodging, scrambling to avoid the wreckage flying right at them. What just blew up? Some random guy shouts, his voice cutting through the madness as everyone's trying to piece together what the heck just happened. Ephraim's got Sylvia by the hair now, yanking hard. You've got the guts to diss my dad, she roars, absolutely primed to throw hands again. But then, hold up, something totally pulls her focus. A freaky black hole rips open, magic swirling like some voided-out glitch, sucking in everything dumb enough to get close. It's a void? Ephraim mutters incredulously. The crowd is absolutely losing it, and honestly, who wouldn't? That thing is screaming instant death vibes. Then the energy twists, shifting gears inside the void. Ephraim clocks it fast. This sucker is about to blow. And when it does, metal shards are gonna spray out like a shotgun blast, wiping out everyone in range. No brakes on this train, folks. It is totally unstoppable. Until, bam, it detonates. Just when you think it is peak chaos, everything just freezes. The woods go dead quiet. Ephraim is standing there, totally dazed, wondering if she somehow pulled off a miracle or something. Then Deculin rolls in, cool as ice, surrounded by frozen shards glinting like some kind of boss-level power move. He is flexing total control, maneuvering those shards like it is absolutely nothing. The crowd? Absolutely floored. They had never seen anything this beautiful. These kids are just total rookies, fresh to the magic game, so they are straight up hypnotized by the dazzle. They do not even clock how lethal this stuff actually is. Deculin stacks the shards into a clean pile, no sweat. Class dismissed. He cuts it short, absolutely no warning. Everyone out, he orders, except the two who started this mess. Ephraim curses under her breath, knowing she is in deep trouble now. Next stop, the interrogation room. You know nothing good ever goes down there. Total vibe killer. Chairwoman Adeline Sigelian and Deculin are already posted up, waiting. Two more profs stroll in, Relin and Retlin, rounding out the squad. Thanks for dropping in last minute, Adeline says, all formal-like. Retlin leans over to Deculin, whispering, who is the nobody dumb enough to swing at a lady of House Allied? Then he totally flips, tossing Deculin props. Nice save, man. No one got wrecked. Deculin sees right through it. This dude is just kissing up. These profs are total pros at the politics game, and he knows this meeting is already a done deal, you know? Sylvia is the golden child of the Alad family, while Ephraim is the underdog commoner. Bet you can guess who is getting the W here. Deculin is not having it. He has got to flip this script. Since the jump, he has been peeping some twisted scarlet energy leaking off Ephraim's shadows, creeping around her like bad news on repeat. His sharp eyesight is picking it up clear as day. If this train keeps rolling, he is toast. Dead man walking. The discipline hearing officially kicks off. Retlin comes out swinging. You really thought you could start a brawl in school? Someone could have been toast if Deculin did not step up. His voice booms like a literal megaphone. They grill her for an excuse. Why did you fight? They ask. Ephraim, stone cold silent. The profs are totally thrown. They did not see that coming. Inside she is boiling, knowing Deculin was up there, looking down on her. Sylvia trashed her dad and baited her into swinging straight facts, but she won't be showing any weakness. Not in front of her enemy, no way. Tears hit, streaming down her face. She is cornered and it is brutal. The profs pile on, accusations flying like a verbal beatdown, dripping with that super high and mighty attitude. Sylvia's turn. She plays it all soft. I accidentally trashed Ephraim's project. Oops, and it sparked a fight. Cue the sympathy card. Poor Sylvia did not mean it, yet Ephraim still went full aggro. More shade gets thrown her way. How does a nobody like her even dare? They sneer. Anger issues, perhaps? Expulsion is on the table now. Violence like that, cannot let it slide. The heat is crushing. Ephraim is drowning under the roasting, the mockery sticking like glue. All she feels is cold despair, every jab slicing deeper. No one has got her back. She is totally alone in this world. The room feels massive now, like it is swallowing her whole. Her anger pivots. Deculin was the one who caused all this. Adeline is ready to shut it down, wrapping this whole circus up. But first she hits Deculin up. Professor, you saw it all. What is your take? He starts talking, and Ephraim's gut screams it is game over. Do you really think you had no fault in this incident? Sylvia von Josephina lad? Deculin drops, voice steady as steel. The room is hit with total shockwaves. Sylvia's like, hold up, what? And Ephraim's brain is scrambling to catch up. Deculin is just chilling, all calm and collected, dropping truth bombs like it is a casual Friday. He doubles down on Sylvia. You have stopped this, yet you did not. He is low-key roasting her, hinting that her skills might be overhyped, or maybe it was something else. Sylvia is stunned but fesses up. Yeah, I let Ephraim run wild. I wanted her to crash and burn harder. Ephraim's jaw drops. Relin jumps in. It's the fault of the one who attacked. Dekulin claps back. Oh, so based on your logic, I should take the fall for assigning the work? He is flipping tables now. Ephraim's mind is blown. He is even shutting down Sylvia's cheerleader. Why is Dekulin defending her? This is not adding up. What is his angle? Adeline is done with the drama. Alright, kids will always fight, it's all part of growing up. So no punishment today. Free pass, boom. Ephraim is speechless. She was ready for the boot. The Dekulin she knew would have yeeted her out. So why this? As it wraps up, Relin is still hovering, totally trying to score points with Dekulin. Then, interruption. Ephraim steps up, locking eyes with Dekulin, fists balled tight. Her head is spinning, but she is not backing down. She needs answers. She strides forward, voice sharp and bold. I have got a question. She needs to know if he remembers her dad. She needs to know if he knew how much her dad suffered under him before taking his own life. Ephraim is standing there, heart pounding, ready to grill Dekulin. She's like, there's something I need to ask. Dekulin pauses. He's just waiting, probably knew this was coming like 10 chapters ago. Ephraim's mind is racing a million miles an hour. She needs answers, like does this dude even remember the Luna family? Remember what he did to her dad? But, oh, her thoughts are spiraling. If she pushes too hard, he might undo the verdict to cover his own butt. But then she thinks, man, him not remembering her father? That's actually way worse. So yeah, she decides she has to ask. No backing down now. Suddenly, Dekulin's voice cuts through like a laser. He's like, you don't need to ask. Ephraim's head whips around, totally shook. Then he drops some wisdom. Don't waste your potential on things of the past. Next thing you know, Ephraim's left alone in the room, drowning in feels. But she knew it. Dekulin did remember her dad. Maybe he felt guilty. Is that why he helped her out? Or was it just pity? Ugh. The questions are just eating her up inside. Memories of all the past struggles flood in, little pieces clicking into place. But honestly, a wave of relief hits her. He didn't forget, and right now, that's enough for her. And yeah, she just lets it out, quiet sobs in the empty room. Meanwhile, a wild system notification appears. Dekulin dodged that death variable just now, and look, he gets 2 store currency. A while later, a fancy car is speeding down a leafy road. Inside, Gilthian von Ludwig Alade, say that 10 times fast, he's totally dripping in VIP energy. He's telling Sylvia, hey, don't sweat that Ephraim girl anymore. He thinks Ephraim had talent but totally missed her shot. Flashback time, 10 years ago, big academy entrance exam day, that's when Sylvia first ran into Ephraim. Someone straight up yells impossible. It's a total shocker. An elder drops the bomb. Both Sylvia and Ephraim had archmage potential. Everyone's jaw hits the floor. It's almost impossible to have 2 kids with that kind of talent in the same kingdom. Okay, quick lore check. An archmage. That's like the absolute god tier of magic users. Even the emperor can't mess with them. Tradition says only 3 people can be archmages per era. Demerkin's already got 1 slot locked down. The second slot? Pretty much guaranteed for Adeline, the big boss lady of the magic tower. So basically, with only 1 seat left, Sylvia, the Alade family heir, was in direct competition with Ephraim, who comes from a family that served under the Alade family. Awkward. Even back then, Sylvia knew the real reason the Alade family basically steamrolled the Luna family. Yeah, it was because of her. Sylvia looks back, all that messed up harassment of the Luna family, totally to make sure she got that 3rd archmage spot, not Ephraim. But hey, being an archmage, that was something she genuinely wanted too. She gets a quick flash of Ephraim kinda taunting her, but she brushes it off. Nah, she was just unlucky. Yeah, right. Suddenly, Gilthian's voice snaps her out of it. He's like, forget Ephraim, the real problem, Dekulin. Dekulin might seem stuck now, but apparently he was called a genius back in the day. And guess what? Sylvia didn't need Dad to tell her. She already knew. Why? Because Dekulin saw right through her trap. Sylvia was totally sure she'd messed up Ephraim's mana, made it vanish, and she set up this trap designed to blow up the second Ephraim tried to use her mana again. But Dekulin, dude saw through the whole thing instantly, even though she was super careful. He even maneuvered everything into a compromise, didn't even directly accuse her. It was like he was saying, yeah, I know everything you did, so do as I say. Total power move. Yeah, Sylvia totally underestimated him. Now she's wondering, just who is Dekulin, really? Alright, a few days later at Dekulin's manor. There's a knock on the door, his chauffeur is asking if he's ready to bounce. His car zips off, definitely on a mission. He's thinking back on the last few days. Thanks to his choices, he avoided one of his death arcs. Phew, and he even snagged some sweet store coins. He never expected that super pushy student from his first lecture would actually be Ephraim Luna. Small world, huh? He's also a little worried about Sylvia now. She might be holding a grudge after that trial, potentially spawning a new death arc. But hey, he had to shut that down fast, so he had no choice. His thoughts drift to the party he's heading to. Yeah, definitely not a social butterfly kind of guy. But he can't skip this side quest. Gotta grind. He needs 5 more coins to unlock the shop access. The loot calls. Whatever. He'll just use this party to scope out some of the other main characters. Player gonna play. He finally arrives at this massive, fancy place. Deculin just strolls in and boom, gets greeted like the celebrity professor he is. Everyone loves him, mostly. The room is buzzing with high-ranking nobles. Seriously, an influencer's dream guest list. He's recognizing faces everywhere. The highlight though, spotting this dude named Yahello. Fun fact, Woojin based this character on himself. Nice little meta touch. Even with his perfect poker face, Deculin's actually kinda enjoying himself. Whoa, suddenly someone spots him and gets super hyped. The commotion makes heads turn across the room and now everyone's trying to get a piece of Deculin, trying to get some one-on-one time. Poor guy. Then, out of nowhere, some dude is hyping up Sir Ganesha's awesome feats. You can almost see Deculin's ears perk up. Wait, Ganesha? His gamer senses are tingling. He's gotta check this out. He smoothly dips out of a dinner invite. Pro escape artist. Totally itching to find who just dropped the name Ganesha. He's moving with purpose now. He knows meeting this Ganesha could be a game changer later in the story. Gotta make those connections. Scanning the room like a hawk, he's thinking, okay, where is she? This dude is on a mission. Unknown to him, he's already been spotted. And boom, there she is. Enter Ganesha, standing right there looking every bit the legendary adventurer she is, and get this, she's the 5th strongest character in the entire story. Alright, our guy is scoping out this fancy pants ballroom like a hawk on a caffeine rush. He spins around, eyes locked, and spots her. Yep, it's Ganesha. You know, the one with the absolutely legendary fiery red pigtails. And she's totally rocking that classic adventurer gear, looking like a complete boss, by the way. Our MC, Deculin, needs to make a move, like, now. But whoa, the crowd's a total roadblock. And then out of nowhere, someone yells, Professor Deculin, it's Yahello, of. Okay, so this dude is apparently an old uni buddy. Name's Yahello von Garion Rewind. Sounds kinda extra, right? He slinks up, all smarmy, and asks Deculin if he's heard the rumors. Yahello immediately starts dropping shade, saying the rumors are about Deculin's research basically hitting the snooze button. Dude, seriously? Chill with the passive aggression. Apparently, MC used to roll with this guy back in the day. But ever since Deculin snagged the head professor gig instead of Yahello, yeah, this dude's been holding a grudge bigger than my Steam library. Now the old Deculin, he might have gotten all bent out of shape by this passive-aggressive drama, but our guy now, it's totally pointless. He's got bigger fish to fry like finding Ganesha ASAP. He glances back up towards where she was, and bam, she's gone. Surprise. Meanwhile, Yahello is still yapping away, probably saying something super annoying, and it's making Deculin's blood boil. I feel you, man. So Deculin leans in close to Yahello and goes, Yo, Yahello, enough with the nonsense, and seriously, get lost, you utterly rotten, cheese-crusted simpleton. Ouch. He does not hold back. Deculin just walks away cool as you like, leaving Yahello sputtering in total disbelief. He's gotta find Ganesha, and fast, before she runs into her. It takes a few more minutes to finally escape that whole mess and get outside. Deculin steps out, takes a breath, and just vents away from all those social leeches and their drama. But wait, plot twist. Ganesha is right there on the balcony, surprising him. She's like, Professor Deculin, catching him totally off guard. LOL. She asks him straight up if he was looking for her. Deculin's kinda thrown by how familiar she is. He's thinking, hold up, did Ganesha and the old Deculin already know each other? Intriguing. And yeah, spoiler alert, turns out these two have actually been cooking up something behind the scenes. She apologizes about some mission they had, says she gave back the advance and a cancellation fee, so can he maybe just let it go? Sounds like she ghosted him on a job. Then she hits him with, I'm sorry I couldn't bring you a child talented in magic. Wait, what? And she smiles, saying, I got way too attached, so I just couldn't hand them over to you. Deculin's brain is probably doing lightning calculations right now, putting the pieces together. Looks like the old Deculin was planning to pull the same sketchy stunt he did before. Yeah, basically to cover up for his own total lack of talent, he exploits a super talented kid. Yikes. Not a good look, old Deculin. Suddenly, Ganesha switches gears and asks, Can I ask you something? Uh-oh. Until when are you planning to live like this? Whoa, that's deep. He looks thoughtful for a hot second, probably processing that question. Let's be real, the old Deculin was kinda awful. He loves soaking up flattery like a sponge, and he'd totally break the trust of anyone close to him if it meant getting ahead of the pack. What a guy. Looking out over the dark, dramatic scenery, Deculin tells her, I'm going to live differently now. Character development hitting hard right here. Okay, she was not expecting that answer. She's honestly like, wait, so you're not gonna kill me? LOL. Because she did agree to this shady mission but then totally bailed at the last second. Deculin is absolutely appalled that the old Deculin would stoop so low as to even try to kill off this absolute unit of a character. She's like a top-tier main character in the game. What was he thinking? Seriously, she's one adventurer you do not want to mess with. Her stats are insane. She's got attributes like invincible body and master of all martial arts. That basically makes her one of the best fighters ever in this game. He figures maybe the old Deculin just never got around to sending those assassins after her because, well, Woojin got yeeted into this body first. Crisis averted thanks to isekai protag powers. Meanwhile, Ganesha is standing there thinking, okay, was he always this not evil, or did he just eat something weird for breakfast? LOL. But hey, whatever the vibe, our guy Deculin just checked off his social mission connections secured. He's like, alright, I'm heading home. You don't need to worry about watching your back. Ganesha is still reeling. She's like, wait, you're really leaving? No sneaky assassinations? No random killings? She sounds almost disappointed. Deculin turns back, all dramatic, and says, nah, honestly, that's just totally classless. Spoken like a true protagonist. Guess Ganesha's got some serious pondering to do after that interaction. Meanwhile, Deculin's brain is running simulations. He's thinking, okay, I could have just flexed my family's power and pressured her. But then he realizes, yeah, that would probably just make her want to kill me. Good call, MC. And suddenly, boom, a system window pops up. Message villain's fate variable avoided. And check it, currency count +1. He didn't even fully realize it, but that whole convo was another one of those death variables, another potential story branch that totally could have gotten him killed. It's like this world has death traps around every single corner. Our dude seriously cannot catch a break, can he? Alright, scene change. Back inside the ballroom, we meet Rayleigh, who's Julie's cousin. She's totally roasting Julie. How long are you planning to sulk over there looking like a busted controller? Savage. Julie's sitting there looking like she'd rather be literally anywhere else. Her vibe is basically day-old pizza you forgot in the fridge. Yeah, she's not thrilled at all. Rayleigh's pretty much run out of ideas trying to get her cousin to actually enjoy the night. Tough crowd. The conversation shifts and they start talking about Deculin. Rayleigh asks, so what's up with that guy now? Rayleigh spills some tea, mentioning she's heard whispers about Deculin that are kinda concerning. Julie looks back, probably thinking about their last super awkward encounter. Not good, she admits, sounding totally glum. Yeah, didn't sound like a fun time. Suddenly they hear footsteps coming down the staircase and Julie immediately turns to look. Who could it be? Surprise! It's Deculin. Julie looks totally surprised to see him. Their eyes meet for just a second. You know the drill. But then, Deculin just straight up ignores Julie and keeps walking towards the exit. Whoa! The guests are all gasping. They're wondering why Professor Party Animal is bouncing out of the party so early. And get this, he's leaving without even a glance at his fiancée, Julie. The drama. So naturally, the tongues start wagging like crazy. The rumors about them having problems must be totally true then. This is peak gossip fuel. Our MC, Kim Woojin, didn't even realize it, but him leaving the ball early that night basically poured gasoline on the fire, confirming to everyone that things were definitely not okay between him and Julie. And as he walks out that ballroom door, you can almost hear an invisible checklist go bing. Another side quest marked as done. Okay, so fast forward a whole week after Deculin hit up that flower of the new year social shindig. Our dude's locked into a serious grind. Daily memorization, telekinesis practice, and hitting the gym like his life depends on it. Why the sudden fitness kick? Cause he almost checked out after pulling some absolutely wild stunt. Seriously, things got super sketch a few days back. Deculin was literally coughing up blood on the floor. Only reason he wasn't totally wiped? His insane Iron Man attribute keeping him barely alive. Remember meeting Ganesha? Yeah, after that, Deculin got that power-up itch, so he went all out, engraving even more magic circles onto his skin to supercharge his metal manipulation skills. Big brain move, but man, talk about high risk, high reward. After staring death in the face, Deculin was like, alright, I have to train this body more. And boom, the disciplined morning grind began. Okay, fast forward again to the post-workout vibes. He's cooling down, absolutely drenched in sweat, feeling that burn. But hold up, work never sleeps, right? Over at the head professor's office, Deculin gets this official-looking note. It's a letter from the Magic Tower. Our man Deculin, ever the stoic, reads it over, deep in thought. Turns out it's from the Magic Tower Professor Qualification Committee. And get this, he's scheduled for an audit hearing in just 6 months. Talk about a tight deadline to show some serious research advancements. The pressure is officially on. He figures if an audit is happening, the original Deculin must have been slacking big time on research for ages. And yeah, that's definitely not good news for our MC. See, in the game, Deculin was always known as Professor Deculin, and losing that title could mean losing his shot at ever getting back home. Yikes is right. So, he heads straight for Deculin's lab. Logically, if there's any hidden info or gear, it's gotta be here, right? Stepping inside. Man, talk about a total disaster zone. This place looks like it hasn't seen a cleanup crew in centuries. He takes a look around. Yep, confirms it. Absolutely nobody's been using this lab for a long time. But wait, his danger sense is tingling. Something feels off in all this mess. There's this one pile of trash that looks way more suspicious than the rest. Is it hiding something cool? Or maybe, just maybe, it's some kind of ancient trap designed to end him. But hey, no sweat. Our guy's a total pro at telekinetic manipulation now. He smoothly plucks a book right out of that dodgy pile and brings it floating over to his hand. It's some research notes, but naturally it's encrypted. Ah, but that's no match for his OP abilities. Suddenly, whoosh, the book explodes in this brilliant golden light. His abilities are basically screaming, telling him that the research was brilliant. But, classic story, it wasn't finished, pages are ripped, parts are incomplete, and some of it was even incorrect. Still, even with the flaws, it's glowing gold, showing its potential. Tucked inside the book, a locket, and inside the locket, a picture of a young Ephraim. The pieces click. Deculin realizes this must be Ephraim's father's notebook from when he worked as a researcher under old Deculin. He encrypted it to hide his groundbreaking work. Man, Deculin finally gets it. The sheer amount of pain the original Deculin caused this family, especially Ephraim. He snaps the locket shut and makes a promise if he can finish this research paper, Ephraim's father's name is going on it. As co-author, obviously. Gotta get those accomplishments, you know. If he wants any shot at surviving this game, he needs those stats and achievements. Okay, now let's hop across campus to the cafe, where things are popping. Over at one table, a group of students are all hyped up. Alright, listen up, yells this red-haired girl. We commoners gotta stick together. She's pitching this idea, start a club just for commoners here at the school. You're with me, right, Ephraim? She asks, slamming her hands down on the table for emphasis. Ephraim is totally caught off guard, speechless. See, technically, she's still a noble, just, the dirt poor, basically even poorer than a commoner kind. Come on, Ephraim, you absolutely have to join, her friend pleads. The others chime in, agreeing. They see her as a symbol for commoners because Sylvia, that noble menace, totally bullied her. Great, Ephraim mutters to herself. Now I'm apparently the leader of the common folk movement, but then the friend brings up the catch. They need a professor to sign off on the club before it can even start. Yeah, that's the real boss battle right there. Names get thrown around. Professor Relin? Nah, dude's legendary for kissing noble butt. Professor Carmel? Hard pass, that guy can't even look a commoner in the eye without cringing. And Professor Deculin? Yeah, he's immediately yeeted from the list. Meanwhile, Ephraim's mind has kind of wandered. Her eyes land on some seriously delicious-looking strawberries. She's probably thinking, are those free real estate? Priorities, people. Suddenly, the red-haired girl has a sudden burst of inspiration. Hey! That's it, Ephraim, she shouts. Let's ask Professor Deculin. And cue the record scratch. Everyone's eyes are on Ephraim. You'll ask him for us, right? Ephraim's eyes practically pop out of her head. Okay, yeah, it kinda makes twisted sense. Deculin's that one guy who seems to equally despise everyone. Nobles, commoners, doesn't matter. Back to the awkward. Ephraim is stuck in this cringe conversation. The red-haired girl, Julia, keeps pushing. Hey, you avoided punishment thanks to him. Maybe you caught his eye? Ephraim's inner monologue is screaming. Seriously, why is the room vibe so painfully awkward right now? She's mentally making a pact to avoid any and all drama linked to Deculin's name. It's a hard nope. Not today, she thinks. Not getting tangled up with that dude. She makes a quick escape attempt, insisting she just can't handle the sheer stress of approaching Deculin. But Julia isn't letting her off the hook, trying to convince her to at least think about it, saying there's literally no other option. Suddenly, Julia just stops, hits the brakes mid-sentence. What's wrong, Julia? Ephraim asks. Move, comes a low voice. Not loud, almost a whisper, but totally cuts through the noise. Ephraim's brain blue screens for a second, the realization hits. Yep, that's Deculin, standing right there. She can barely process it as he just looms over them, giving off total final boss energy. Alright, check this out. Ephraim whips around, totally shocked, face like she just saw a ghost. She glances around and boom, Julia's already dipped back into the cafe's safety. Good luck, Ephraim, Julia shouts, giving her a little wave. Deculin's already walking towards her, but Ephraim, still frozen, zero words coming out. Whatever, she finally decides. Time to just do it. Professor, I want to start a club, and I need your signature for it, she blurts out, shoving a paper at him. Okay, so it's a club for the commoners, but she promises, cross her heart, she won't annoy him with it. Inside her head, she's thinking, maybe the others were right? Like, working with Deculin might actually be a smart play. Other professors? They wouldn't give them the time of day. Seriously. So yeah, what's the worst that could happen? She's just gonna shoot her shot. And guess what? Absolute shocker. He takes the paper and signs it, like, instantly. No hesitation. Send the details to my office later, he just says straight up. Ephraim's brain is still buffering when Deculin hands it back. She's legit stunned. He actually signed it. That's super stuck-up, Professor Deculin. He just agreed to it. This whole thing is just weird, like jarring and totally confusing at the same time. Okay, time skip. We're in class now. Get ready for some Magic 101. Today's topic, pure elements. The class is hooked, listening like their lives depend on it as Deculin lectures. Ephraim, though, her mind's still stuck on that morning. Is Deculin feeling guilty? Or is it sympathy? She's wrestling with this idea. Deculin, the guy involved in her dad's downfall, is now acting nice. It feels so fake to her. Ephraim figures if Deculin really regretted his actions, he should reveal his true self to the world and, repent. Like, actually repent. Her deep thoughts get interrupted by Julia's voice again. You okay, Ephraim? Don't even worry about them. They literally just talk trash, they don't know anything, Julia tells her. Ephraim's confused. What's going on now? She follows Julia's gaze. Ah, right, the mean girls. Ugh, what's that little bug doing here? Gross. They fake whisper from across the aisle, loud enough for the entire room to hear, obviously. Yep, looks like all the rich kids decided to team up and make her public enemy number one. Ephraim tries to just shrug it off. Whatever, those guys are always like this. Gotta focus on the lecture now. Word's been going around, apparently Deculin's lectures are different lately. He's talking about the super fine details of magic circles. Today, they're diving into a concept called flowing fire. Deculin wasn't always this cool, inspirational professor, by the way. Nope. Back in the day, his classes were basically just him flexing and looking down on everyone. But ever since our guy Kim Woojin took over, they're now total man of spectacles. He's come up with these crazy creative ways to explain super complicated stuff. And it's got everyone in the room captivated. Even Sylvia, who had grown bored and lost her passion a long time ago because she was just too naturally talented. Deculin whips up a magic circle right there to summon water. If you combine this with a fire magic circle, he explains, it turns into this, and boom, it becomes this gorgeous purple magic. The whole class is just wide-eyed, totally amazed. The final result? A flame that flows and swirls above them like actual water. Sylvia? Yeah, she was probably the most shook person in the whole place. She seriously did not expect his lectures to be so focused on theory. See, usually, genius mages just rely on pure intuition to cast spells. They just feel it. They kind of look down on the theory side of things. If everyone just followed the theory playbook, all mages would end up looking and casting the exact same way, like mass-produced bread loaves. And if you focus too much on theory, there won't be enough time in the world to learn magic, so trying to understand magic through theory is very inefficient and will drive you bonkers. It's a total paradox. Elite mages have amazing intuition, and because of that, they can't even explain how they do it. Sylvia's mind is blown. She cannot process that Deculin is teaching such a deep, theory-heavy lesson. Okay, fast forward again. Class is over and Ephraim's leaving the building. She seriously cannot get over that lecture. It was wild. She's never focused so hard in her life during a class. Okay, fine, she admits it. Deculin's not that bad as a teacher, but hold up. What's this? There's graffiti, big bold letters, right on her door, saying she doesn't belong. Seriously? How long are these guys gonna keep this up? Then something else catches her eye. A mysterious envelope that says sponsorship certificate. She's super skeptical, immediately thinking it's another lame prank. Like who in their right mind would sponsor her? She's basically hated by both the Alad house and Deculin. Wait a minute. Ephraim gets an idea. This could actually be good. She'll report this fake sponsorship and probably get a reward for exposing the pranksters. So she heads to the magical admin office, and her shock level goes through the roof when they confirm the seal is legit. The sponsorship is not fake. Her brain is doing backflips trying to keep up with this insane plot twist. She remembers the admin lady totally confirming it's the real deal. Suddenly, hope just explodes. She feels seen, like maybe life's finally cutting her a break. This is a dream she doesn't want to wake up from. Snapping out of her daydream, she does this hilarious self-check. Like, wait, did anyone see me? What if people realize I have a ton of money on me right now? Total panic mode. For some reason, she starts packing an emergency go bag. Just in case. That admin lady from earlier was looking at her kinda weird, right? Could she be after her money? The paranoia is real, folks. Oof. And then she hits her head on the underside of her desk. Hard. Yikes. Okay, yeah, that was a painful reality check. Nope, still not dreaming, she thinks as her eyes start getting blurry with tears. Yeah, the tears say it all. It's just pure relief and validation. She's finally processing the truth. Someone actually sees her. Someone noticed her talents. The world isn't completely awful, she whispers to herself, wiping her eyes. Gotta get it together, she thinks. Don't give up just yet, Efreen. We're all rooting for you. Alright, peeps. Grab your popcorn because things are getting spicy in Euclid Manor. Uriel's ears perk up as a butler spills the tea. Deculin is pulling up to the auction of Shots and Jewel right now. Uriel is straight up panicking, recalling his last year's absolute dumpster fire with 10 million elm down the drain. She's like, seriously, what kind of disaster is this dude plotting this time? And swears she won't forgive him if there's more drama. Meanwhile, in the city of Luton, Deculin's on a mission. He's all about that rare item he's been scoping out forever. Now, quick flashback. During Deculin's first time messing with telekinesis magic, he realized he needed some metal to compensate for his mediocre talent. Right now, he's got some wood steel with him. It's just a makeshift solution, and he needs the real deal, something way better. In the VVIP room, Deculin's mind is racing as he hears the auction's about to pop off. But wait, Julie's here too? He is totally caught off guard, like, oops, didn't expect to see her here. Why is she here of all places? Uh-oh, it's a mini showdown. Julie hits him with the absolute coldest line when she asks, have you been well? I heard you sent 2 young mages to the disciplinary committee, Julie says, straight up accusing him. Deculin's reaction? Classic deadpan. That's old news. Do you want to blame that on me too? Julie lays it out, reminding him that these girls were just debutantes and he just completely crushed their dreams. Her parting shot? Her last piece of advice? Don't make the same mistakes of the past. This is the last piece of advice I can offer you. Wait, last bit of advice? Deculin's mind is reeling, and it hits him. Julie was totally planning to dump him. And you know what? He's actually kind of fine with it. The silence between them? Awkward level 1000. Okay, look, Deculin is not about that marriage life. This dude hasn't even touched grass, let alone planned a wedding in real life. Plus, Julie's surrounded by death scenarios. If he messes up, he could literally get wiped on his wedding day. Julie finally turns to leave. Deculin is puzzled. Julie isn't the type who usually attends auctions. Why is she here? And out of all the brain cells this guy has, he pulls out this winner. Wait, did you come all the way to this auction because of me? Bro, just no. It sets Julie off. I'm here because I need something, she shouts in frustration, totally done with his nonsense. Okay, I get it. Calm down, Deculin says, trying to defuse the situation. He's actually finding it oddly cute seeing this side of her for once, despite the tension in the room. Hold up, rewind. Did he seriously just think that about Julie? What's going on? Is this the OG Deculin's feelings trying to break through? Or is our MC just overthinking everything like usual? Just then, an announcement calls out the start of the auction. Let's go. The first object rolls in, it gets unveiled, and they announce it, the vase from the east. Once he lays eyes on it, his ability pops out, and bam, this thing is glowing bright gold. It's the exact same level of insane glow he saw on Efreen's papers. That means this thing's super valuable, bull. The auction starts running. Competition is fierce, but Deculin wins in the end. Throughout the bidding war, the vase never lost its glow despite reaching such a high price. That means its value is even more than that. But hey, Deculin's got cash to splash too. And just like that, it's go time. He starts snapping up high-value items like he's looting a raid boss on double drop rate day. Everyone in the room is buzzing. Whispers are flying, is that Deculin? The big spender is here. Meanwhile, Julie's just watching, thinking he's totally pathetic and just doing this for attention. Ouch. She's probably thinking, how can 2 people be this different? She's not here for a shopping spree, she's laser-focused on one specific item. Her mission? Get her hands on Winter's Fire. Finally, the auctioneer announces the grand finale, the final item, a legendary ore, the kind they used to forge god-tier swords way back when. The magic of nature, Winter's Fire, the snowflare stone, he yells, dramatically ripping off the cover. And there it is, a massive blue gem, sparkling like 1,000 tiny stars under the lights. Seriously, everyone in the room is just stunned by how gorgeous this stone is. Okay, quick lore drop. The snowflare stone, one of the top 10 rarest metals ever. It's perfect for forging insane swords and weapons. What makes it special is it can handle both extreme heat and extreme cold energy, hence the name Snowflare. Only a few things are rarer, like maybe dragon bones or something. Deculin's eyes are glued to that Snowflare stone. He knows it, this is the ultimate upgrade material he's been searching for. Meanwhile, Ice Queen Julie is locked in. She is absolutely determined to snag this thing for herself. The auction floor turns into a total financial battlefield. Numbers are flying around faster than loot drops in a dungeon raid. The bidding war is heating up. Julie's feeling hyped, thinking she's finally clinched the win. But hold up. Plot twist. Guest 777 swoops in with a jaw-dropping 31 million bid. Julie's face just melts. Who is this mystery bidder shaking everything up? Julie's face, pure rage. And then it hits her, guest number 777 is freaking Deculin. Everyone's whispering now, trying to figure out what the F Deculin is doing. Someone jokes he's buying it for his fiancée. How romantic, right? But then someone else is like, if he wanted to give it to her, why wouldn't he just let her win? Good point. Meanwhile, Deculine's brain is finally catching up. He's just now realizing he was in a bidding war against Julie for the stone. He's in a serious bind here. If he takes the stone, Julie is gonna hate him even more. Like she needed another reason, right? But on the other hand, he needs this thing bad. It's so crazy rare, the last time one sold was 3 years ago. Deculin knows this is risky business. But hey, sometimes you gotta roll the dice. He needs that snowflare stone to literally survive. Alright, the auction is now hitting peak chaos. We're talking 42 million elne, and bam. The snowflare stone is now Professor Deculin's. Our boy number 777 does it again. The whole room is buzzing. Like this auction is pure madness. Deculin snags the main prize while whispers are flying that he's going all out trying to get a gift for his fiancée. But wait, what's this? Someone is definitely not happy about it. Julie's totally in her feels, remembering what went down last year. Turns out, the day of her engagement was the absolute worst day of her life when Deculin just dumped piles and piles of riches in front of her. Was he trying to win her over with wealth and treasure? Nah, come on. This was Deculin's move to show everyone how great he was. And Julie? She felt nothing but total humiliation. She didn't want any of these riches, seriously. So she just walked right out of that engagement. But you know it didn't just end there. Rumors started spreading like wildfire. Totally baseless rumors like she was bribed to captain night position just for agreeing to the engagement. Others say she totally begged for it. Yeah, it was pretty obvious who was spreading that kind of garbage. Looks like someone didn't take being rejected too kindly, huh? From that day on, Julie told herself straight up, Deculin was someone she could never, ever love. Okay, so Julie stands up to leave, but then she's surprised to see Deculin actually walking towards her. Huh? What's he doing here? Did you also want the snowflare stone? He asks her, sounding kinda somber. Her face just twists up in anger, expecting him to gloat about it. Then suddenly he just says, I'm sorry. Whoa, this catches her completely off guard, like totally blindsided. He just turns away real fast and leaves. Julie's left standing there speechless, and it bothers her all the way outside. What was he even sorry for? For winning the stone? This is wildly out of character for him. What was he thinking? She's still totally lost in thought over this weird moment when someone calls out her name. It's her sister, Josephine, the oldest sister from the Freyden household. She's here to pick her up. Later that night, Deculin's car pulls up to his place. He's thinking things over, wondering why a death variable window didn't pop up during that whole awkward encounter earlier. Inside, the servants greet him like normal. But he notices the vibe is kinda tense. Something's definitely up. Did something happen? He asks. Miss Uriel is home, they answer. He heads upstairs to meet her. That money was supposed to pay for the mines. What did you use it for? She asks Deculin, not looking happy. Uh-oh. Big mistake. He thought that account was just his personal piggy bank. He tries to assure her that whatever he bought is gonna bring in major profits, you know, make bank. But Uriel? She's had it. She's not having it. You're treating me like dirt, she yells. He spins around, totally surprised. Yeah, this ain't looking good, folks. Do you think I'm just here to clean up after your messes? She asks, tears streaming down her face. Through sobs, she spills it. The family is not doing well financially. Everyone here is busting their butt just to keep things afloat, and he just spent all their money? How could he? Uriel absolutely loses it. You're such a total idiot that you just spent the estate money on gambling. Whoa, a red aura has started flaring around Uriel. Villain's fate is kicking in. This is bad news for our MC. But wait, intertwined with the red aura is a golden one. Okay, so that means if he makes a wrong move, he's dead meat. But if he plays this right, he's gonna bring in a boatload of money. An idea suddenly hits him. Don't worry, Uriel. He starts trying to calm her down. But Uriel is unconsolable. She's worked her fingers to the bone, given up going to university, given up even having a life, just to keep their family afloat. And him? He's done nothing but waste money ever since their parents passed away. And now he just blew 150 million elnen in one day. She is letting him have it. Suddenly, Deculin interrupts. I'll give you the household head position. Uriel freezes, totally shocked. Yep, he's serious. He's actually giving her the household head spot. She can't believe her ears. Why, she exclaims. She thinks he's totally bluffing at first. But Deculin offers to swear a mage's oath, which means straight up death for him if he breaks it. Uriel's head is spinning. This makes zero sense. Why are you doing this? She asks, utterly confused. She's looking like she's ready to throw hands if Deculin even thinks about backing out of that promise. Then, she turns and just walks away. Gotta go fix this auction money madness pronto. Bam. The door slams shut, and she's gone. And just like that, a window pops up. He just dodged one of his death flags. Crisis averted for now. He's breathing a huge sigh of relief, feeling like the storm just passed, at least for this second. Big breath in, sigh it out. Okay, one step at a time. If he keeps changing things, keeps messing with the plot, he might actually survive this whole mess. But hold up. Before Dekulin can get too comfy, Ganesha just pops in like it's totally normal to just appear in someone's house. Wow, you really meant it when you said you were going to change, she remarks. Dekulin's a bit taken aback, thinking, excuse me, what's she doing here? Ganesha plays it cool, acting like her sudden appearance is no biggie. Turns out seeing Dekulin's actions back there kinda shook her world. Curious, Dekulin's like, but why be shocked? It's obvious Uriel would do a better job as household head anyway. Then she narrows her eyes and drops a truth bomb. Uriel von Grahan-Euclin doesn't have a single drop of Euclin blood. Dekulin's brain just short-circuits for a second, totally doubting what he just heard. Dekulin's left staring into space, pondering this wild, totally unexpected plot twist that definitely wasn't in the game script. You heard that right, Uriel? No Euclin blood at all. Wait, what? How is that even possible? Dekulin already knew she was his half-sister, right? But man, the fact that she has 0 Euclin blood, still a total mind-blower. Ganesha's like, yo, are you sure about this? You're the one who asked me to dig into this? Ah, so the old Dekulin already had his suspicions. But this Dekulin, he doesn't care one bit about the results. Uriel is still Uriel to him, end of story. Ganesha is shook. This is totally not the Dekulin she knows. She's like, alright, your secret is safe with me, and boom, she's out of there literally through the window. Hold up. Before she dips out completely, she drops some seriously ominous news. The 6 snakeheads are making moves. Okay, these guys are a straight-up notorious criminal org. We're talking millions in bounty money on each of their heads. And guess what? They're totally targeting the loot from that auction Dekulin just went to. She warns him, dude, you better beef up security at your mansion when your auction stuff arrives. Like if she got in that easy, these snakeheads are gonna be a total nightmare. And poof. She's gone into the night, leaving behind, a handkerchief? Okay then. Now that he's finally alone, Dekulin lets out a heavy sigh. You know that classic MC sigh when the plot thickens? But here's the real kicker, right? Knowing this doesn't actually change anything for our Dekulin because he's not the original guy anyway. He's totally gonna keep treating Uriel the same, blood relation or not. That's our Chad Dekulin. So yeah, this truth is getting locked down tighter than a vault. Nobody's finding out. Alright, scene switch. Now we're chilling with the Red Garnet adventure team around a campfire. And they're all talking about how weird Dekulin has been acting like it's someone else using his skin or something. And get this? Ganesha? She's low-key crushing on him now that he's not a total jerk. See? Character development pays off. Oh, and quick reminder, remember Rayleigh, Julie's cousin? Yep, she's part of this team too. So you're saying Dekulin has a human side now? She asks. Yeah, so Ganesha decides they can stop spying on Dekulin for now. Meeting adjourned, but she reminds them, whatever they heard here, keep it on the down low. They all join hands and this cool glowing orb pops up around them. Then whoosh, it shoots off into the sky like a straight-up rocket. Travel method goals. Alright, next day we're back at the Magic Tower. Dekulin's checking out the system store. He finally grinded enough game currency to unlock access. But he's still broke and can't afford squat. And here's the rub with this store, you only get a few shots at using it. Plus, every time you level up, all the costs double. Ouch. So Dekulin's gotta play the long game. Gotta be patient and strategic. He's been grinding hard, training like crazy, but he's kinda hitting a wall with his raw combat power. Yeah, compared to some of the infamous villain MCs in this world, he's still kinda squishy. So he decides to prioritize. He's gonna focus on getting that improvements to mana qualities item from the store. Time to stack that coin. Then there's a knock on the door. Alan comes bursting into the office with some seriously bad news. A wizard killer named Lockhart is out there causing chaos. This Lockhart dude is a total menace, especially for mages in this world. But Dekulin? Cool as a freaking cucumber. He knows his own skills are just built different. Actually, Dekulin's kinda looking forward to this. He's already calculating the potential store currency payoff from taking this guy down. Gotta get that sweet, sweet loot. He just tells Alan, nah, don't sweat it, and sends him away. But wait, Dekulin suddenly remembers something important. Alan, he asks, how about you become an assistant professor? Alan is absolutely floored. He's like, what? Yeah, Alan's probably never gotten anything close to praise from Dekulin before, and now he's making him assistant professor? It's because I've seen how dedicated you are, Dekulin explains. But reality is, he just got a memo telling him to pick an assistant ASAP. Even though Alan's still sputtering protests, Dekulin just slaps a bracelet with the Euclid seal on it onto him. Boom! New position confirmed. Alan is so grateful for this. Meanwhile, Dekulin's thinking, You know, Alan's actually pretty good at organizing stuff and running errands. Yeah, he totally earned this. Seriously, so many assistants bailed because Deculin used to be a total jerk. Alan's the only one who stuck around through all that. Okay, new plan? Gotta treat Alan better. Deculin even gives him some cash for dinner and tells him to dip out early. Alan tries to protest that it's too much, but Deculin's already gone. Out the door. Later. Alright, with all these mysteries popping up, Deculin heads to the staff-only library. Turns out, Luna's research on invention of pure elements was full of holes and errors. Deculin's gotta fix this himself. And he's also eyeing some manipulation-related grimoires. Spicy. But as he walks in, he runs face first into an unexpected visitor, and Deculin is not amused. Not one bit. His laser gaze lands on someone totally sneaking around, and guess who? It's Sylvia, caught red-handed. Sylvia's just standing there holding a book, looking like a deer caught in headlights. Busted. Okay, so picture this. 10 minutes earlier, Sylvia's in this super fancy executive reading room. An assistant is talking to a projection of Professor Relin, basically saying, "Hey professor, Miss Sylvia here is looking for her study materials. But this area is exclusive to executives only." Relin, who looks pretty chill in the crystal ball, just laughs and goes, "Haha, no problem at all. We're talking about the Iliad successor and this year's star rookie mage here. Let her use whatever she wants for her studies." So the assistant gives Sylvia the thumbs up. He said, "It's all good, Miss Sylvia. Feel free to look around all you want." Turns out Sylvia's a big nerd for literature and languages. So she's strolling all serious-like through this massive library, footsteps echoing, you know the vibe. She specifically hit up this executive reading room to find something that scratches both her literary and linguistic itch. A novel that's written in ethanol, the ancient language of the fairies. Talk about bad luck, right? Sylvia practically jumps out of her skin. She 100% did not expect to bump into him here, of all places. Deculin, with that ice-cold voice of his, immediately grills her, "Why are you in the executive reading room? You looking to get hauled before the disciplinary committee again?" He threatens. Sylvia's totally freaking out inside, thinking, "Deculin, what's he doing here? I heard he never even steps foot in a library." She manages to stutter out, "I'm here for a specific document. Professor Relin already gave me permission." Deculin's face gets even darker, and you can almost hear him thinking, so Relin just ignored the rules, and the librarian let it slide. They both need to be disciplined. Then he notices the book Sylvia's holding. It flies out of her hand, and just like that, straight into his. An ethanol novel, huh? Deculin says, checking out the cover. "So you broke the rules just to find a romance novel in ethanol?" Sylvia goes completely red. "Huh? How can you even read ethanol? Wait, that's not the point. It's because I'm into literature and languages, okay?" Deculin just sighs and hands the book back. "I'll overlook it this once." But then he drops the hammer. Do it again without proper permission, and there will be disciplinary action. So unless you're just trying to show off your family's power, send someone else to get your books. Then he just turns and walks off, leaving Sylvia absolutely raging. She's clutching the book, shaking with anger, thinking, "He totally humiliated me. I just wanted to learn about fairies through their own novels." She grumbles, but then a new question pops into her head. Hold on, how did Deculin read ethanol? I mean, that language is famous for being a total mess and super hard to figure out. Alright, scene change. Deculin and Professor Relin are watching over students doing their first practical training session out in a forest. Relin's like, "Man, it's their first time out, but everyone's pretty calm. Guess the mountain of darkness doesn't scare them." Deculin, stone cold silent. Relin keeps going. "Training's gotta wrap up by nightfall, but still, I'm proud of these kids." This place, by the way, is called the Mountain of Darkness. It's a super important and heavily secured spot for the Magic Tower, a little ways off from the university campus. This forest is where they get real-world practice and also find a ton of magical ingredients. But, plot twist, it's also crawling with dangerous beasts and poisonous critters. That's why they've got multiple magic shields up and professors patrolling constantly. Relin then turns to Deculin. "Oh, right. Head Professor Deculin, we still haven't picked the on-duty professor for this week. We need to get someone new. Who do you think would be a good fit?" And guess what? Deculin just flat out says, "I'll do it." Relin is ecstatic, as expected of our head professor. Leading by example, you're truly the model professor. But Deculin's thinking, nah, it's not for some noble reason like that. It's because of this system notification giving him a side quest that promises 1 store currency plus additional achievement reward. He's feeling this weird pull from deep within the forest, like a silent beckoning. Something's definitely calling me from in there, he thinks. That's gotta be why this side quest just triggered. He's wondering, what the heck is about to go down in this mountain that switches this game to horror mode at night? Meanwhile, the training wraps up. Relin tells the students to pack their stuff, and they all say goodbye to their professors. Fast forward 9 hours and we find Ephraim and her crew at a cafe near the Magic Tower totally drooling over some seriously fancy desserts. One of them shouts, "These look amazing." Julia's like, "Wait, Ephraim, are you actually buying all this for us?" Ephraim's grinning from ear to ear. "You bet. Chow down, guys. She just scored 100,000 elni. This one's on me," she announces confidently. Julia brings up their club. "I already handed in the paperwork for our club, so it should get the green light soon. Think of this as our pre-first meeting." Alan chimes in, sounding a little concerned. "I just hope not too many people chicken out. We're kinda low on signups." But Ephraim's all positive vibes. "No sweat. If we run the club right, people will come flocking." Then she mentions the training from earlier. "Hey, speaking of, I heard there was training at the Mountain of Darkness today." Ephraim nods. "Yup, 50 people signed up for it, even though that place is dangerous." Then, out of nowhere, this blood-curdling scream just rips through the air, making everyone jump. "Did you hear that? You heard it too? Where did that come from? We gotta check it out." Instantly, they're all on their feet, sprinting towards the noise. Ephraim hears someone desperately yelling, "Please help me," and sees a figure way off in the distance. Over there, Julia shouts, "Hey, wait up! Something's seriously wrong, Ephraim." "Stop," Julia yells. But Ephraim's already gone, charging ahead. "What were you saying, Julia?" She turns around, but she's suddenly in this dark, super creepy forest. "Where am I? I was just on the cafe street," she stammers, totally lost. That cry for help echoes again. "Please, help me." "Oh yeah, someone was calling for help," she remembers. "Where are you?" "I'm coming to help you," Ephraim shouts. "Over here," a voice calls back. She makes her way towards the voice and spots someone with long hair. "Are you okay?" And then bam, the figure explodes right in front of her. The attacker lets out this crazy high-pitched shriek while Ephraim stares in shock. "Someone's attacking us," she thinks, trying to pull her magic together. And just then, a pair of all too familiar shoes walks into the frame. It's Destined, and man, he's radiating this intense, dark energy. Ephraim yells out, "Professor, did you just attack that woman? How could you attack a civilian?" "Open your eyes! That's no civilian. It's not even human," Destined explains as a monstrous illusion looms tall. "What is that?" Ephraim asks, the chilling truth sinking in. "Seems like she was under an illusion spell by a demon," explains Destined. Suddenly she's yanked up in the air. Ephraim screams in terror. "Don't interfere and get lost," Destined mutters as she's enveloped in darkness. Finally, Destined steps into the danger zone face to face with the gnarly demon. "Now then, time to hunt," he declares. Ready to kick some serious demon butt. The creature's now furious because it just lost its snack. His gaze locks onto the demon, a glimmer of determination flashing across his eyes. The battle is fierce, energy beams duking it out like it's a fireworks finale. The demon's roar tries to shake Destined's resolve, but nah, he's not backing down. Descending from above, he's like a superhero from an epic saga, analyzing the core on the demon's forehead. He knows it specializes in illusions, but this demon's tricks are useless against him thanks to his abilities. Suddenly he feels it. "My blood is boiling," Destined thinks to himself. His lineage is more than a family tree, it's a game changer. Turns out, those with Yukulin blood have a specific attribute that allow them to purify demonic mana and power up like a boss, but there's a bit of a catch: aggro levels shoot up too. The ancient strength of the Yukulines is firing up within Destined, sealing the demon's fate. The demon lunges, but Destined's faster. His attack slices through the beast with finality. With the demon defeated, Destined earns his shiny rewards, achievements, and lineage boosts, leveling up like a pro. Standing over the fallen demon, Destined can't help but call it out for its filthy nature. Turns out the demon's appearance is just the beginning. In the game, the appearance of the demon was a signal for the start of the game without the player, whatever that means. Ephraim jolts awake. She's in some unfamiliar bed, totally confused. "What happened?" "I was in the woods." A nurse tells her a demon attacked the Mountain of Darkness last night. Ephraim got caught in its spell and passed out. She was rescued and brought to the clinic. Now the whole mountain is locked down while the Magic Tower investigates. Oh, and guess who saved her? Professor Destined. Ephraim's face goes dark. Damn it, not him again. Panic time. "What day is it?" The nurse says she's been out for 36 hours. That means it's Wednesday. Ephraim checks the clock. Wait, if it's Wednesday? Oh no, I'm late. She sprints across campus and bursts into the classroom, totally breathless. Just made it. Her friend Julia waves her over, all smiles. Julia says she checked on her at the clinic, but Ephraim was still out cold. Ephraim plays it cool, saying she's feeling great after all that sleep. But hey, what's this? Every desk has a bowl of sand, a bowl of water, and some wooden sticks. The door opens. Professor Destined walks in, followed by some nervous kid carrying a box. "Who's this guy?" Destined gets right to it. "I have an announcement. This is Alan. He's my teaching assistant." The whispers start. Destined always goes solo. Being a TA is a huge deal, something mages claw their way to get. And Dekulin just hands it out. Ifrine's stunned. She remembers her dad, who struggled his whole life as a researcher because he never became a TA thawed. So why is Dekulin taking in some random mage she's never even seen before? Today's lecture is learning by experience, he says. Solve this task in 3 hours. Alan puts a timer on each desk. Ifrine looks at the green bracelet on her wrist, her dad's only inheritance. It's her mana vessel now, a reminder of her past. What was her father to Dekulin? Why did Dekulin never give her father a chance? And why is he doing all these nice things for her now? She tries to focus, but it's hopeless. Her mind is a mess of resentment and confusion. She can't think of a single spell. Then a voice cuts through the silence. 25 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm done. It's Sylvia. She's already finished, growing a perfect white lily from the materials. Everyone stares. Dekulin looks at her work, his face giving nothing away. Perfect. You may leave. Sylvia smiles and walks out. Watching her go, Ifrine's frustrated. Sylvia's easy win makes her own failure sting even more. Damn it, I need to finish this. But it doesn't happen. Other students start finishing. One by one, they leave the classroom. The room empties out. Iharan and Drent are dismissed too. Finally, Alan goes to the podium. Professor, it's been 3 hours. Let's leave. Ifrine's alone, completely defeated. I'm done for. She couldn't do it. She's drowning in self-doubt. She didn't just lose to Sylvia, she's the only one who couldn't finish it all. Why am I like this? Am I really this stupid? How could she even be thinking of revenge if she couldn't even complete this? 5 hours and 47 minutes. The voice startles her. Dekulin is still there, watching her from the front of the room. He never left. Dekulin? He's still here? He walks toward her. You had a breakdown over an easy assignment and couldn't finish, he says, his voice ice cold. Ifrine hangs her head. He offers a piece of advice. Even if someone laughs at you, even if someone is ahead of you, even if the person you hate the most is right in front of you, Ifrine's breath catches. You must be cold and logical at all times. He leans in. He straightens up and turns away. You will never reach my level with such a weak mind. He delivers the final blow. I'm disappointed, Ifrine. I thought you were better than that. He leaves her in the silence. His words, I thought you were better than that, echo in the darkness. She stares at the untouched materials, the timer mocking her. A fire ignites. She slams her hands on the table, a new resolve hardening her expression. Her fist clenches. So what? Mana crackles around Ifrine, the bracelet glowing brightly. Her face is set with determination. I can do this. She pushes past her limits, blood trickling from her nose. She pours more power into the spell, her body twitching, her hand shoots out, controlling the swirling energy. With a wild look, she unleashes everything. I'll do it, no matter what it takes. In his office, glowing green, Dekulin relaxes, unbothered by the situation. 6+ hours spent on Ephraim, just the price of doing business. Because of the appearance of the demon, he knows the age of overwhelming evil is coming soon. And Ephraim is going to be one of the strongest main characters in the future. But right now, she is not giving mage energy yet. Once she overcomes her issues, her power will surge enough to threaten Dekulin, though he won't let it happen. And fate? It's for slackers. Dekulin only believes in himself. He's not the type to be outdone, especially not by a debutant. Suddenly, he sees a flash of green. The heavy door creaks open, and there she is, Ephraim, looking totally wiped but still determined. And she walks away without a word. Dekulin steps into the classroom to see a shimmering golden flower. Looks like she was able to do it. 6 hours, 25 minutes. Assignment complete, he declares. Later, Dekulin writes Ephraim's evaluation, noting her lack of elite training, but even so, her results are strong enough to rival the top. As he finishes, a system window pops up, side quest complete, awarding him some store currency. Business handled, time to head home. But as he steps outside, someone calls his name. The sweat says it all. Zeit, he thinks, panicking. This huge dude with wild white hair and a scary cheerful grin walks up. Long time no see, Professor, the guy booms. Dekulin stays composed, but the thought hits. Why is he here? Turns out, this is Zeit von Bruggen-Freyden, head of the Freyden family. He is Julie's older brother. He is also the guy who pushed for their engagement in the first place. Even worse, he's a named character famous for being ridiculously strong. Even stronger than Ganesha. Dekulin's mind races. Is he here about that snowflare stone he took from Julie? He might be a death variable. And Dekulin, completely unprepared. Excellent. Just what he needed today. Zeit slaps a heavy hand on his shoulder, all smiles. I heard you and Julie haven't been getting along, so I was worried, he says, his friendly tone totally fake. He invites, or rather tells Dekulin he's setting up a dinner for them this week. Relieved that Zeit is playing nice, for now Dekulin quickly agrees. A quick decision. I like that. Zeit laughs, adding that he's planned a menu based on Dekulin's tastes. He leans in, his face shadowed, smile turning predatory. Well then, let's meet then, Professor Deculane. Watching the giant leave, Deculane accepts it. Choice was never on the table, just vibes and intimidation. He got totally played. Because get this, Zeit puts his family's honor above everything. Messing with his plans would be a disaster. And this dinner? It's a non-negotiable. Free will has left the chat. The next day, at the Freyden estate, tensions are high. Her voice sharp and angry, Julie refuses. She's busy training knights and wants nothing to do with Deculane. Zeit scoffs. Are you sulking because he stole one measly snowflare stone? That's not it. She snaps, totally frustrated, as someone watches from a distance. Hey, maybe Deculane bought the stone so he could have a sword made for her, Big Bro suggests. Eyes blazing, Julie declares, if he actually gave me a sword, I'd break off the engagement right there. That's it for Zeit. His face twists in rage. Think carefully, Julie, he warns. In a flash, he's on her, aura flaring. He tells her it would be foolish to refuse the reunion. This is politics and there is no room for feelings. Why are you like this? Do you like someone else? He asks. Defeated, she mumbles that there's no one. Zeit thinks it might be about the scandal about Deculane's skills, but Julie says no. Then just why? He dismisses and just tells her to just show up on time. If she had any problems, get it settled before then. Julie trembles while a man in black silently stands next to her. She's gripping that fist like she's about to speedrun a villain arc. Her hand moves fast, blade unsheathed in a blink. She unleashes her fury on the air, sword light exploding around her. The energy fades, leaving her panting in the courtyard. A calm voice speaks from behind her. Your swordsmanship is a bit turbulent, my liege. It's her subordinate, Varan, from the Order of Haidukane. Julie lowers her head, apologizing for her disgraceful outburst. Not at all. I understand, my liege, Varan says, his red eyes full of sympathy. He continues, I don't think that horrible man is right for you. But Julie cuts him off. Enough. Apparently, knights aren't supposed to talk trash behind someone's back. Who knew? She turns to him with a forced smile. Don't get involved. I'm fine. Varan goes silent, his expression unreadable. Julie walks away, telling him to get ready to leave. His gaze hardens with resolve. He watches in silence as she walks away. He's finally found a way to prove his loyalty as her unwavering vassal. An idea has taken hold, something he thinks only he can do. His hand tightens on his sword hilt. While Deculane's clueless back on campus, Varan makes a silent vow, I will make you happy, my liege. Deep in the remote Birch assembly, tension rises. Word has reached them a demon was found in the Mountain of Darkness. It's declared that since magecraft was created to crush evil, it's time for them to step up. One elder, looking grim, gives a clear order, send a letter to the 12 sorcerers. An official summons is prepared. Meanwhile, Deculane has been busy organizing his loot from the auction. He picks a few items to wear for protection. Everything else goes in the vault, just like Ganesha said. But there's one big problem. The most important item he bought, the massive snowflare stone, isn't cooperating. It wasn't budging no matter how much telekinesis he used. The stone's own mana is pushing back against his magic. Okay, he gets a hunch, but he's not sure it'll work. He remembers something he read in the library. A powerful sword must be tamed in a process called communion. Could it be the same for the stone? Does he need to bond with it, not just force it to obey? If that's the case, there's only one thing to do. He places his hand on the giant crystal, focusing his will. With serious determination, he starts pouring his mana into it. A torrent of blue energy flows from his hand into the stone, creating a blinding flash of light. When it fades, he touches the crystal again. A system window pops up. Comprehension, Duo 1%. He just burned 2,000 mana for that? At this rate, it will take a year to tame this beast. He sighs, wondering if this is really the best he can do right now. Well, no time to dwell on it. He has places to be. He glances at his calendar, noting the dinner Zeit arranged for today. But his eyes drift to another date circled 3 days from now. An event set long before he took over this body, the death anniversary. Fast forward a few hours and Deculane arrive at a posh restaurant. According to Zeit, Julie should be waiting inside. As they enter the private room, Zeit spots her. You look gorgeous dressed up like that, Julie, he says. He's right. Julie's there, rocking a white dress that says, I didn't come to play, I came to slay. Deculane is genuinely caught off guard. He's thinking no wonder even the cold-hearted Deculane fell for her. He never knew she could be this beautiful outside of her armor. Just then, another voice cuts in. Of course you don't know how much effort I put in. It's Josephine, Julie's older sister, who claims she just tagged along to help pick out the dress. Deculane was so drawn to Julie that he didn't notice her at first, and he certainly didn't expect to see her here. But she isn't just a doting sister. She's a main character Deculane must be wary of above all others. Her personality? A textbook sociopath. Charming, ruthless, and willing to do whatever it takes to get her way. She's the owner of Shadow, a clandestine intelligence network, and her personal strength rivals even Zeit's. There's one rule about her: don't mess with Julie. Break that, and Josephine goes from glam queen to vengeance machine in 0.2 seconds. Deculin can't figure out why she hasn't tried to kill him yet, but he definitely felt it the moment he walked in. Her intent is crystal clear and deadly. To avoid becoming a target, he has to show he's sincere about Julie. Zeit, oblivious to the undercurrents, asks Deculin directly, "When would you like to hold the ceremony? It's been 3 years since the engagement, hasn't it?" Julie starts to protest, but Zeit's voice drops to an icy tone. The adults are talking. Deculin starts to say something but hesitates. Zeit, however, encourages him. "All right, here goes nothing." Josephine watches with a predatory smirk. His voice steady, Deculin makes it clear, "I'll leave this to Julie. If she doesn't want a marriage, I'm prepared to dissolve the engagement." Julie flinches. Zeit is aghast. "Geez, how could you speak of dissolving the engagement so carelessly?" He points out that their recent distance is no reason to break things off so drastically and that the family elders would never approve of such a thing. Suddenly, Julie explodes, her voice filled with rage. "Family head?" She glares at Zeit. "Please allow the two of us to speak in private. Please." Zeit hesitates for a moment before obliging. Josephine gives a cheerful okay and waves goodbye as she follows him out, leaving Deculin and Julie alone in the tense room. Julie's voice is low and seething with suspicion. "What are you trying to do this time?" Her eyes burn with a furious, distrustful light. Outside the room, Josephine sips her drink with an unreadable expression, but deep down she's wondering, what is this guy planning? Julie's not wasting any time. "Just what is it that you want?" Deculin barely reacts, but he notices something. Someone's listening in, just behind the door. It's Josephine. He recalls the laugh, the drama, classic distraction move. She's not gone, she's just in spy mode. This is a perfect opportunity. Josephine has no clue he's onto her little game. The plan is simple. Make her believe Deculin is head over heels for Julie. Pull this off, and he might just dodge another death flag. He looks at Julie, his expression carefully neutral. "Julie," he lets the silence build, "I simply spoke my truth." "Your truth?" Julie asks through seething teeth. Deculin explains things have gone too far. They can't just break off the engagement now. Her hands clench. She's seen this all before. "So, what dirty trick are you going to pull this time?" She reminds him how he forced this whole engagement on her through his power. Did he even remember what he said to her then? "You told me fighting is dangerous," Julie reminds him. Oh, she remembers. He forced her out of the Imperial Order, stuck her in a unit controlled by his family. And when that didn't work, he spread vicious rumors about her. Her eyes are blazing with fury and humiliation. "What are you trying to start now?" Deculin's face gives nothing away. He knows it's all true. The man whose body he now occupies was a monster, obsessed and possessive, doing terrible things to keep Julie by his side. He gets why she hates him, more than anyone. He promises not to do stuff like that anymore, but Julie's not buying it. Deculin continues, "I know I've been tying you down. I know what I've done is wrong." Julie is speechless, a flash of disbelief in her eyes. He shifts gears, flipping the script. "But I'm not the only one to blame. Your elder sister and brother have gone too far too." He calls them out. If they actually cared about her happiness, they'd be fine ending the engagement. And boom, it hits. This was never about love, just saving face for the fam. Deculin keeps pressing his advantage. And get this, he knows what she truly wants. "You need to leave your family to achieve your dream of becoming a defender, right?" Julie gasps, her eyes wide. "Julie," he interrupts, "I possess neither honesty nor loyalty." She stares at him, totally thrown by this sudden confession. "I am the opposite of everything you strive to be. I am not suitable for you." Losing her patience, she tells him to get to the point. And he does. "Continue our engagement, but never marry." They can't get out of this marriage because they're tied down by the political circus, but he offers his power and influence as a shield so she can reach her goals. Julie is floored. "What are you planning? Why are you saying all this now?" Deculin looks away. "It's not like I expect anything in return. However, if I were to hope for something, it would be to see you smile. Once a month." He looks at her directly. "That's all I want." The effect is immediate. Julie's face turns bright red. The eavesdropping Josephine outside lets out a choked wad. Deculin mentally pats himself on the back. He just said what she needed to hear to avoid a death variable. But wait, she's clearly flustered, and he quietly notes how cute she looks like that. In that moment, a terrifying truth hits him. The original Deculin's twisted feelings for Julie are now his. Julie clears her throat, trying to regain composure. "I won't fall for that. I'll never fall for your schemes." Deculin can't help but chuckle, making her even more flustered. Josephine listens from behind the door. It's cringe to admit, but yeah, now she's questioning if this dude's actually speaking from the heart. If so, maybe she should keep watching. Just a little longer. The dinner goes on, the atmosphere completely different now. A notification pops up, villain's fate, death variable avoided, reward acquired, store currency +2. 3 days later, the car ride is silent. The date on his calendar weighs heavily on his mind. The death anniversary is here. He walks through a cemetery as the sun sets, the mood somber and emotional. He feels strangely at home here, like his heart arrived long before his body did. He stops at a simple tombstone. This place holds memories. Not Deculin's memories, but his own as Kim Woojin. He sees a vision of a woman with brown hair. It's Yu Ara. Cue flashback. Late one night, in their office, team leader Yu Ara's got a bright idea. She wants to add an Easter egg to their game. A little backstory for the mini-boss, Deculin. Kim Woojin is not on board. He's already pulling all-nighters. This extra task? Straight up disrespectful. Ara whines, saying it's super important. We gotta put our hearts into the game, right? She says with a huge, passionate smile. Woojin sighs. He grabs some coffees, telling her to do whatever she wants because she's gonna do it anyway. She beams, saying it's a great idea, definitely not pointless. After all, Deculin has a past fiancé that died. He remembers how excited she always got about these little things. Wonder what she found so fun about it? He's still wondering what kind of joke she's hiding in the game that made her so happy. Back in the present, Deculin stands at a grave, memories of Woojin surfacing. He has to find those traces. He looks at the tombstone and what Ara did. Brilliant? Cruel? He can't decide. The name carved is hers, Yu Ara Firgis Mahinnik. He stares at the grave, completely stunned. Why, did you engrave your name on this tombstone? Deculin was modeled after him, Woojin. So why would Yu Ara use her name for his dead fiancé? And why would she thank him? Grief hits him. He kneels, touching the cold stone, and a wave of emotion washes over him. It's almost like he can hear her voice as the memories come flooding back, vivid and endless. He remembers her praising his drawings with a shy smile, or when she draped her coat over him on a cold winter night. Those moments of her holding him, telling him she loved him. They were together for 7 years. She was always by his side. Tears stream down his face as he relives these precious memories, his memories of her. He's mid-emotional arc and suddenly someone's rustling in the trees like it's their cue. Who could it be? A man with long white hair and a furious face emerges. I finally found you, he snarls. You filthy mage. Deculin's turmoil vanishes by a cold calmness. Those skills are really coming in handy. A menacing shadow falls over him. He recognizes the man instantly. It's Lockhart, yeah? He greets the figure. You know about me? Lockhart spits. How dare an arrogant and conceited mage say that? Deculin stays calm. This is the wizard killer Lockhart. He's a mini-boss villain only mage players encounter in the game. His power is what makes him so dangerous, an ability called magic nullification. Lockhart suddenly lunges at Deculin. Just like in other games, nullification is a cheat attribute. Lockhart's version has no real restrictions. Whether he touches you or not, magic just doesn't work near him. You stupid mage. Magic doesn't work on me. Lockhart roars, lunging forward. He closes the distance in a flash, swinging a blade in a vicious arc. Deculin easily dodges the attack. Most mages would panic. Deculin, he's built different. As Lockhart screams "Die" and lunges again, Deculin just punches him right in the face. Lockhart goes down hard, stunned. Meaningless to me, Deculin says coldly. Gasping on the ground, Lockhart can only curse him. This easy win? All thanks to a recent purchase. 7 days ago, Deculin spent 10 store currency on an upgrade, improvements in mana quality. This made him more efficient at mana manipulation. The effect was bigger than he expected. During a training session after the upgrade, he grabbed a wooden staff and it just crumbled in his grip. The upgrade didn't just affect his mana, it raised the quality of a human overall. Back in the now, Lockhart is down bad. Literally. A new notification pops up, villain's fate overcame death variable. Store currency +2. Deculin smirks. The improvements in mana quality also applies to his passive attributes, like his Iron Man attribute. I should have been able to erase you rotten mages. Lockhart groans from the ground. He keeps ranting, calling mages accursed apostates, traitors against God, and lunatics. You are worms who can't do anything without magic. Deculin listens, putting the pieces together. This kind of OP ability, an intense hatred for mages, and that specific term, apostasy. He looks down at the defeated man. Lockhart, you're from the Bloodshroud race, he declares. Lockhart freezes, trembling, his eyes wide with disbelief. He's shocked that Deculin even knows this. Let's talk about the Bloodshroud. They're called that because of the red film they're born with. Descended from ancient demons, their bloodline carries a dark legacy. They live in hiding all over the continent as the natural enemy of mages. Magic was literally created to fight demons, so the conflict between mages and the Bloodshroud is a huge part of this world's history. It's a major plot point from the game too. Deculin standing over the defeated Lockhart, a member of the Bloodshroud race. The poor guy's pinned to the ground, his ancestry making his life super dangerous. Deculin knows that somewhere, a cleansing of the Bloodshroud could be happening right this second. He tells Lockhart he gets it, the generational trauma, the centuries of oppression. But he warns Lockhart, killing an innocent mage makes him no better than his oppressors, just another monster. Lockhart loses it. Shut up. What do you know? Just kill me. But Deculine drops a truth bomb. I know, since the Blood Shroud race is also innocent. Lockhart's stunned. He can't believe what he just heard from a mage. Deculine introduces himself. I am a Eucline, a family line of nobles who have not lost their dignity. Lockhart, though, he thinks it's just some pretentious pre-kill speech. Deculine continues. The only time he's ever lost his dignity, he explains, was when he faced a real, actual demon. It's in their blood, Deculine says. An ancestral fury passed down through centuries of demon hunting. He then hits Lockhart with some questions. Did I lose my dignity and composure in front of you? Did I waver at your provocations? Did I go berserk as if seizing? Lockhart speechless. Deculine delivers the final blow. You are humans. This, he says, is a true noble's dignity. He tells Lockhart to trust him. Before either of them can speak again, someone cries out, over there, hurry. Then, bam, he kicks Lockhart right in the face, knocking him out cold. Stay still and let yourself be arrested, he says to the guy. Right on cue, Inspector Ropa arrives. He gives a sharp salute. Impressed by the kick, he considers adding a few extra hits, but Deculine waves him off. Deculine dispels the magical barrier with a wave of his hand. The inspector's amazed by his power. Magic handcuffs? Useless. Lockhart's a magic dead zone, so it's back to basics with some steel wire. Inspector Ropa realizes it's why their magically engineered radar didn't work on him. Deculine asks if the inspector was already patrolling, since he got here so fast. The inspector says he got a report, figured it was from the professor. Deculine says, nope, not me, and starts to leave. As he walks away, he's relieved he ended things without bloodshed. He really didn't want to hurt anyone. The next day, there's a meeting called in Berkt, first one in 15 years. Inside the Eucline Estate's training room, the air is thick with discipline. Deculine, shirtless and composed, listens as Yahello hands him the parchment, explaining she had to deliver it herself since he couldn't care less. She reminds him it's the residing head's job to take care of the family. Deculine listens as she explains, Birch summoned the mages over a demon in the Mountain of Darkness. A system window pops up. New main quest, Birch call. One guard on watch? He's already bracing for double trouble on demon mode. She suggests their driver Jeff, a former mercenary, as his guard for the travel, but Deculine's not having it. Jeff's more comfortable with a steering wheel than a weapon these days. Uriel insists he can't go alone. It's too dangerous. The road to Berkt isn't just long, it's the kind of journey where survival isn't promised. Deculine smirks. Are you worrying about me? Uriel freaks out. I just can't have you dying on me before I officially get the residing head position from you. With Uriel flustered and blushing, Deculine quickly changes the subject. He says he'll just hire a trustworthy agency for a guard. Meanwhile, at the Order of Knights, new recruits are sparring hard under Julie's watchful eye. Nearby, the vice captain is stressing over something. Varan, the long-haired knight, sneaks up behind him, making him jump. He tells Varan a big commission came in, but something feels off. He doesn't know if he should take it. Varan says talk to the captain, but the elder is hesitant to even mention it to her. He spills the beans. The job is to guard Deculine. Officially, it's for trained security. But they knew the order wouldn't protect him outright, so the request was made to sound less specific. Varan doesn't even hesitate. That commission? Accept it. He argues guarding a whole train is a huge job that'll boost the order's fame and help their finances. The vice captain mentions the history between Captain Julie and Deculine, but Varan cuts him off. Our captain is not someone who would ever insert her personal emotions into a mission, he declares. And so the vice captain walks off to tell Julie, while Varan displays a serious, unreadable expression on his face. Alright guys, quick info dump. High up in the northern mountains is a place called Berkt, home to the continent's most powerful elder mages. This spot is basically ground zero for the entire magical world, where every school of sorcery brings their ideas. And whatever Birch decides, goes. Their word is law. This place is the absolute pillar of the magic world. Getting an invite to the Birch Summoning Assembly, which only happens once every few decades, is the biggest flex a mage could ever have. But there is a huge catch. This prestigious invitation has another much scarier nickname in the game. They call it the Mage's Grave. At a snowy train platform heading to Berkt, we find Julie and her vice captain waiting. The vice captain asks if she's ready and she says she is, but her face is all tense, telling a different story. Suddenly, her eyes go wide. She whispers, he's coming. And right on cue, Deculine himself steps onto the platform with his assistant Alan right behind him, who's amazed about all the snow in April. Someone steps up to greet him formally, thanking him for coming. It's Julie. She explains that her order is guarding the front half of the train. Deculine is surprised she's came all the way there. Julie, meanwhile, her face is turning beet red as she stammers out that they will do their very best to guard him and make sure he has a comfortable trip. Deculine just looks at her, totally confused by her reaction. The reason she's freaking out is because of a promise Dekulin made her give. He told her she had to show him her smile once a month. So now her brain is going a mile a minute wondering what to do. Should she actually smile? How big? A full-on grin or just a little smirk? Meanwhile, her vice captain is watching this whole meltdown with pure admiration, thinking she's a true professional for trying so hard to protect a guy she hates. Gotta respect that. The vice captain tries to jump in, but another player enters the chat. The knight introduces himself as Veron. He explains that it was him on guard duty and the others were just there to see them off. The vice captain boasts that this kid Veron is super skilled and recognized by their whole order, so the professor has nothing to worry about. But Dekulin is not so sure. He better check it using his sharp eyesight skill. But he doesn't sense anything weird. He wonders if he's just being paranoid. Veron then says he will be guarding the professor's cabin personally. With that, Julie wishes them a safe trip and heads out, leaving Dekulin and Alan with Veron. Just as Julie is about to leave, she freezes, remembering that stupid promise. She twists her face into this incredibly pained, forced grimace that is supposed to be a smile with sweat just pouring down her cheeks. Her vice captain just stares at her, completely lost. Dekulin's speechless too, but appreciates the effort. He thinks to himself, so you've kept your promise after all. A few hours pass and the train is rolling through the snowy mountains. Dekulin tells Alan to go ahead and sleep if he's tired, and Alan, who was so hyped up earlier, is already knocked out cold. With things quiet, Dekulin's mind goes back to why Bert is really called the Mage's Grave. It's because of a little tradition that happens every single time. The train attack. See, getting to Bert is a dangerous game. One of the trains is set up to be destroyed. The safest option would have been using his money and underworld contacts to buy info on which train was the target. But our guy can't do that. Ever since he took over this body, he cut off all those shady connections. That's why he had to prepare in his own way, like learning some legendary martial arts with his comprehension skill. He takes a look at the sleeping Alan. He remembers asking the kid to join him as his assistant, warning him how dangerous it would be. Alan was so moved he actually started crying. Dekulin had to yell at him to stop his snot from dripping because, he's a total germaphobe. He honestly didn't think Alan would agree so easily, and now he's wondering if the kid is more ambitious than he first thought. The train just keeps on moving, and the trip has been way too peaceful so far. Dekulin adjusts his tie, thinking that the next stop is Berkt and nothing has happened yet. Did I actually pick the right train? He goes over his preparations in his head. He used his Midas Touch skill on his entire outfit to buff up their defensive skill. He also hit a bunch of wood steel shurikens, also powered up with Midas Touch, all over the train car. He even secretly beefed up Alan's robes just in case. He does feel a little regret though. He's used up so much mana lately that he's running on fumes. He wonders if it was a waste, and if he should have saved that mana for something else. But he shakes it off. Better to be prepared for nothing than not prepared at all. I hope things stay quiet like this, he thinks as he leans back in his seat. The train starts to cross a high, icy bridge, when suddenly there's a blinding flash of light. A massive explosion rips the bridge apart, and the peaceful journey is shattered in a single fiery instant. Okay, let's rewind back a bit to a few days before our boy Dekulin leaves. Another train is making its way up to Berkt. Inside, the head of the Iliad family, Giltheon, is checking in on his daughter Sylvia's studies. She tells him the magic tower is burying her in work and she's trying to catch up. He kinda laughs. You're already gonna be Archmage in the future, why work this hard? But Sylvia gives him a sharp look back. She claps back that of course she has to work this hard. That's the only way she'll ever become an Archmage. But you can tell what's really bugging Sylvia is missing Dekulin's classes. She finally asks her dad why they had to rush off to this summoning assembly so dang early. Giltheon gets real serious, his face turning grim. He asks her if she's ever heard the spooky stories about the trip to Bercht, how people call it the graveyard of mages. Sylvia just brushes it off like it's some old fairy tale, but one look at her dad's face tells her this is deadly serious. He drops a bombshell on her. Every single time this assembly happens, mages die on the way there. 15 years ago, 11 mages were killed. Giltheon lays out the twisted political game. Getting summoned is a huge deal, a mark of prestige that gets your family name written into the history books. But here's the catch. If your family doesn't show up, you're wiped from the records forever. And there's always another hungry family waiting to snatch up that empty slot. He asks her, what's the easiest way to knock a powerful family off its pedestal? Sylvia can barely speak as the horrible truth starts to click. That's right. The journey itself is a literal hunting ground. Ambitious mages hunt down the summoned ones to steal their spot. Sylvia is completely floored. Her father explains that he got a tip that a group was planning to hit a later train, and since Sylvia was with him, he couldn't take any chances. He says it's time she learned just how cruel their world really is. He calls the entire system rotten, and the mages who take part in this disgusting, bloody tradition should be punished. He drops another bomb. Deaths on the way to this assembly are considered natural deaths and no one bats an eye. Back to the present, Dekulin is just chilling, reading a book while his assistant Alan naps beside him. All of a sudden, there's a sizzling noise from outside. And then boom, a massive explosion rips through the air, shaking the entire train violently. Varan is jolted awake. But Dekulin, the guy doesn't even flinch, staying perfectly calm. His eyes flash a brilliant blue, and a massive wave of magic power just erupts from his body. Alan is sweating bullets, totally terrified as he scrambles to the window to see what happened. He screams, "Professor, look out the window." And what they see is insane. The entire train is just floating in the middle of the air, held up by a swirling blue aura of pure magic. Dekulin lets out a small, quiet sigh of relief. Before leaving, he had also memorized elementary telekinesis as part of his preparations. On the roof of the train car, a bunch of cloaked assassins are just staring, their jaws on the floor. Head professors must really be built different or something. Their leader snaps them out of it, telling them to get their heads in the game. The mission is just getting started, and there's a huge reward waiting for them. On his command, they leap, swinging on ropes straight into the floating train. They crash right through the windows surrounding Dekulin and poor Alan. Dekulin just looks at them with absolute disgust and says one word: morons. Before these guys can even blink, dozens of sharp shards of pure mana appear out of thin air. They shoot forward. They instantly turn the assassins into human pincushions. They scream in shock as the razor-sharp magic rips them to shreds. Alan, seeing the absolute carnage, finally yells out, "Professor, it's an attack." A little late there, buddy. Dekulin, not even breaking a sweat, just says rest for a bit and gives Alan a clean chop to the back of the neck, knocking him out cold. Just then, Varan shows up. Dekulin orders him to get Alan somewhere safe and to evacuate the rest of the passengers. So Varan takes Alan and jumps through the hole in the train to safety. But Dekulin just stands there watching. He notes to himself that something was weirdly too soft. Thanks to his Iron Man trait, his senses are super sharp, and he can tell something isn't right. He decides to worry about that later and turns back to the remaining attackers. He tells them that since they were the ones who started this fight, they better be ready for what comes next. With a dark energy swirling around him, he declares that their deaths here will be considered natural deaths too. Varan gently sets the unconscious Alan down by a rock on the side of the mountain. He looks back at the train, which is somehow still floating in midair. Just a moment later, the battle is over. The inside of the car is a bloodbath with dead assassins everywhere. Dekulin slumps into a seat, looking completely wiped out. He realizes that fighting and holding up a train at the same time has totally drained his mana. A status window confirms it. His mana is at a critical level. Varan hops back into the gruesome scene. He reports that all the other passengers are safe. Dekulin starts to say good work, but he suddenly stops, staring at him with an intense look. This guy's vibe seems different from before. Dekulin just figures he's as shocked by the ambush as he is, but then Dekulin's expression twists, like he just realized something horrible. At that exact moment, a sinister red aura bursts out from Varan, who is now sporting a nasty smirk. A system message screams in Dekulin's head, "Villain's fate has been activated." He gets it now. Varan was hiding his true intentions the whole time. He had let his guard down. Now Varan pulls out a shining blade, red energy swirling all around him. With a terrifying smile, she says, "I'm glad you survived. Now I get to kill you myself." The train car is totally wrecked, and Varan stands right in the middle of the chaos with one goal in mind. His blade glows with red energy as he declares he's already evacuated everyone else. And now, it's Dekulin's turn to die. Dekulin, who's way too calm for a guy with a sword at his throat, has just one question. He asks who put her up to this, his mind immediately jumping to one person. But before he can even finish saying the name Julie, Varan absolutely loses it, screaming at him to stop. He spits that his master is an honorable knight who would never pull a stunt like this. This is all on him, and he's going to kill him for the sake of his master. Dekulin takes this in, so it's not Julie's doing after all. That's a relief, but he's still in a world of trouble. He's only got 10 mana left. He seriously wonders if he can take down a knight as talented as Varan in his current condition. Then, Varan charges. "My guard duty ends here," he yells. Dekulin grunts, blocking his strike and realizing there's only one way out of this mess. Suddenly, a rumble catches Varan off guard. Dekulin yells out, "Cancel telekinesis." Instantly, the magic holding the entire train up on the broken bridge vanishes. The whole thing lurches violently and starts plummeting straight down into the snowy canyon below. Meanwhile, in a totally different scene, the mood is way more chill. A guard knight named Sirio offers Sylvia some of Berk's special permanent snow ice cream. But Sylvia looks totally bummed out and turns him down. She asks if everyone else had arrived. "Besides you, Clean and Rewind, the whole crew is here," Sirio replies. Was she waiting for someone in particular? She just snaps back nope and turns away, but you can tell she's totally lying. Sirio gets the message and leaves her alone. Alone now, Sylvia sits on her bed, with only one name echoing in her head, Dekulin. Her mind flashes back to a memory, something she was never supposed to see. She was at the cemetery visiting the grave of her mother. She was just having a normal one-sided chat complaining about what a terrible professor Deculin was and how much homework he gives. But then, she heard something. Peeking out from behind a tree, she was completely stunned by what she saw. It was Deculin. Even from the back, seeing his shoulders slumped, she could still feel that noble aura he always has. He was kneeling in front of a grave, a sight she could barely process. Sylvia's mind was racing. Why would he be here? She never figured him for the type of guy who would mourn for anybody. As he stood up, she caught a glimpse of his face from the side, and she saw it, a single tear rolling down his cheek. She was utterly shocked. He was actually crying. The man who was always so impossibly cold and arrogant was shedding a tear for someone. It was beyond fascinating. The memory of that tear has been bugging her ever since. It's bothering her now more than ever, especially after her father told her about some intel he got, that a group was planning to attack the train. Thinking back to a lecture Deculin once gave, an idea suddenly clicks in her head. She pulls out a mana stone. She figures if she uses it as a medium, she might just be able to pull this off. Sylvia remembers one of the basic principles of magic. The Origins attribute is created by using the caster as the source. Her own unique magic starts flowing into the mana stone, using it as a medium to give her spell a physical form. Her magic comes together and creates a small bird made of light. "I did it," she whispers, as a beautiful, glowing golden bird materializes in her hands. She holds it gently and names it Swift. Then, she lets it go. "Fly," she commands. "Fly and show me what you see." Back on the bridge, the dust from the crash starts to settle. Deculin groans, pushing himself up out of the wreckage. By some miracle, the train didn't fall all the way to the bottom, but is caught hanging dangerously on the edge of the chasm. He figures he probably has a few broken bones, but his Iron Man trait will have him patched up in no time. But this fight is far from over. A red blur zips through the air, signaling Viran's return. Deculin is able to deflect, but barely. He's surprised that Viran's still fine after he sent an ice shard his way. He tries again. Deculin is completely stunned. This guy's using protective chi over his body. Viran doesn't back down, pressing his attack without mercy. They trade blows, a crazy flurry of red and blue energy lighting up the ruined train car. Deculin realizes with dawning horror just how powerful Viran is. He's way stronger than him. Even if he was at 100%, he knows he wouldn't be able to beat this guy. However, that doesn't matter. A system window pops up, revealing Deculin's rare trait, Resolute. It keeps his mind sharp and unbreakable in a fight. He grits his teeth, his will becoming as hard as steel. Deculin would never break in a situation like this. With a furious scream, Viran raises his sword for one last, desperate overhead strike. Deculin meets his attack, his own power flaring up as their forces collide in a blinding flash. Sweat is dripping down his face as he pushes back against Viran's insane assault. He's holding on by a thread, but it's not enough. With a deafening crack, his protective magic shatters all around him. A trickle of blood runs down his cheek. He looks up at his opponent with a grim smirk, but inside his head, his mind is screaming one frantic word. From his point of view, all he can see is the knight's sword coming straight down. In that terrifying frozen moment, a thought he's had before flashes through his mind. What would happen if he dies here? Will he just wake up back in his old office? Suddenly, a sickening spray of blood erupts, splattering all over the cold metal wreckage of the train. Outside, a brilliant golden bird hovers above the wreckage, watching everything unfold. That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.